Okay. And you guys can't see that PowerPoint, am I correct? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. All right, let me get back to it here. Okay. All right. Also, too, we've also rolled out our online system to where you guys can, have your players populate your rosters online. Okay. And then we encourage you guys to keep using that. It's not perfect. We had some issues rolling it out where we were transitioning between moving our system from one server over to another. So you guys remember we had some hiccups with that. I was up 7, 8 in the morning working with folks to get their stuff done, but we got through it. Our online referee check-in system also as well is something that it's been a useful tool. It takes a lot of admin work off of us. It takes a lot of work off of you guys, particularly. As you know, we've been able to track the golden goal league-wide for the first time. So golden boot winners in the 30s and the open in the 40s. And the reason why we've been able to do that is because of the tool that we have. We're working to actively make it better and make it more dynamic, but we typically take care of those changes in the off season when there's not a whole lot of action going on in the league. And then lastly, our social media presence has grown quite a bit. We are approaching 1,800 followers on Instagram. We're approaching almost 1,000 followers on Facebook. Our Threads has about 200 and something. That's our TikTok. We got to get working on the TikTok. So either way, we've been making a lot of progress on that front. Let's see here. Oh. Okay. All right. So what do we need? Well, we always need help. We always need volunteers. So keep in mind real quick, the guys who are sitting here, and I just happen to like to present in front of everybody. So when I'm talking on behalf of the league admin. Myself, Dane, Garth, there's another gentleman named Dennis. We have a young lady named Brittany who's helping us start our co-ed. We're the ones who kind of, really keep things moving along. We meet once a week. Our meeting last night was like an hour and a half last night. So we really do take a lot of time in, addressing all the needs of the league, the business, and moving things along, strategizing, so we can, again, make sure that everything goes along well. So again, we could use the help. Some things that I really like to see, I like to have volunteers to help, set up, put away the goals, for instance, right? But years ago, everyone had to do that. The open division is spoiled. I do it for you guys. But the 30s and the 40s, they do it. So I would like to, hopefully have some volunteers on that front. We also have, regarding league, going back to league growth, we would love to have more sponsors as well. We have a couple that do give us something monetarily, but every bit we get, we put it back into the league, we put it back into the teams. It helps us offset our admin costs, prizes, all the other good stuff. And then I've noticed that some teams have started their Instagram pages, which is great. That helps you guys, that helps us. And so I know, like in the Masters division, Lumar they put together one. United put together one. I know Wash Boys has one. Shout out to Wash Boys on that. And some of the other teams have put out their Instagram pages. So again, it's not a requirement or anything like that, but it does help us, and it does help you as well. If you take a picture or something, we share it. And then lastly, also as well, when it comes to the health, is encourage it. We really encourage teams to have trials. You could have, maybe you got some members that move out of town, or you just need to replenish your team with players. We'll help you out with that. And then what I've been saying since the beginning, if you stick with us, we will stick with you. So back in 2021, we didn't have an open division, for instance. So there were folks who thought that, oh man, it's going to be hard to get it up and running. Well, we have one now, and it's consistently been doing well. One of the new teams that came with, I know Coach Teddy, I don't want to put you out, but Jad Meta joined us earlier this year in the spring, and they had a good experience, and they came in first season, they won it. So it's good to have parity in our league and have fresh competition come in, and that also encourages other teams that want to come and play also as well. So at the end of the day, it's all about good local amateur soccer.
We had a wait list for summer.
Yeah, right. For the first time, and since we've rebooted this whole thing, we had a wait list in the over 30 division and in the open division, and I think we have a little bit of one going on right now. So it's a good problem for us to have. Now we do also want to get to a point in place to where we're trying to acquire more fields so we can accommodate these teams. But that's something that NVSL hasn't seen in a long time, and that's just a tribute to you guys believing in us and giving us a chance. So next thing up, referee relations, player conduct. My favorite one. Look. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I'll bring Velucco to come up and chat about this, but it's really important that we treat our match officials with respect at the end of the day. They are not going to make up stuff about people. They're not going to, there's an integrity that they have to have, right? We work. Velucco's one of the best assigners in the area. We work closely with him. He's always adding new talent to his talent pool. The quality of the referees, at least from the feedback we've been getting, has gotten so much better. But the stories that we hate to hear is when we lose a ref. We lost a nationally badged referee this year because of a conduct of one team. Okay, and that throws away all the hard work that the assigner is doing to pull these kind of people to come in. We had him for a while. He reffed a lot of our finals games, playoff games. He getting folks who are highly sought after it's tough, and it's what happens. You replace it with someone who's not as experienced, and then you guys are unhappy, right? So it goes both ways. At the end of the day, most of the team managers here do a great job of holding your teams accountable, and we hope you continue to do that. Velucco, if you can come up real quick, or if you want to.
I'll be quick, as always, because the main focus should not be on a referee. But thanks for having me, for everyone online. As Teddy mentioned, the only thing that I always ask when I stand here, guys, is just respect and patience. That's all I'm asking to the crews. I truly believe that we have a great group of referees. We did have some new refs, new fresh blood, but I was talking earlier again about it. Kudos again to the league that it's making it attractive even for the good refs actually, just because of the quality. And again, I know that support is there and the respect is there. So once again, the only thing that I can stand up here and just ask for is just respect and patience. That's the only thing. But the rest, once again, I truly believe with proper communication can be resolved. I have no doubt in anyone's fair play and sportsmanship. So we had a great summer season. I'm looking forward for another safe, fun, and successful fall season. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. As you guys know, our league is fully affiliated. There's a link here to, you can go onto US Soccer's website, US's policy 531-9. This is specifically for amateur leagues, right? So things that our rules, do not address, we refer to that. And also too, if there are any issues, we go to our affiliate because they're the ones who are more experienced than us. At the end of the day, we have to be, they're holding us accountable to make sure that, we're doing the right thing, right? And another thing too also as well is, again, player rapport and your general conduct. Look, after you win a game, don't rub it into your opponent's face. You win a championship, right? The last thing I hate to hear is, when folks come up to us and say, this person said this and did this after the game, we don't have proof of it, the ref didn't hear it, right? It's unnecessary. At the end of the day, win, lose, draw, no matter where you finish in the table, dap it up with your opponents, dap it up with the refs, and come back and do it again next week. That's all we ask for. We don't really ask for anything more than that. And then when it comes to this general conduct, again, you know, and the USSF policy 531-9, they updated this to include to include all this stuff, right, against, you know, against match officials. But we also, in our league, we extend it to, you know, to the protection of players too, also as well. So again, just be mindful of what you do and what you say. We live stream a lot of our games now. I think Rashid, how many games were you recording like 2-3 games a week? Yeah, and then I'm streaming like 3 games. So we're catching like sometimes in one weekend 5 games, and then during the week he's streaming a couple games over at Wakefield. So, you know, and there have been a couple instances where I'm behind the camera and someone has some choice words for me, right? And you know, look, it should never get to that. We have no control of what happens on the field. I'm just a cameraman just trying to, you know, stream this out for you guys. And the whole thing is that, you know, this is not a right, it's a privilege. So just understand that. And we don't build the teams for this either. We just do it because we want to do it for you guys and help promote the league. Okay?
And the live stream is not a VAR, so don't ask to.
Yeah, don't ask. I will chew you out. No, you know. Okay. Another thing we've done a great job with this year, and and we've improved leaps and bounds, and we need to continue doing is, you know, keeping control of your players, where they need to be, your spectators, and all of that. You cannot have your friends and your buddies in the player bench area. Now, those who see me working to open, I am hard on you guys about that, because you guys are the ones who are kind of the current generation that's going to carry things on for us. We didn't have an open division. So, you know, please continue the good work on that, right? You know, we had a couple instances where people bring their pets onto the field, dog runs into the field. Stuff like that is completely unnecessary, right? Just, you know, be mindful of that. The last thing we want is someone's kid running on the field or a pet running in the field, a ball hits him at 25 miles per hour, and then we got a problem, right? It shouldn't happen. So just be mindful with that. Anywhere you are, all the fields that we use, just be mindful of that. And the referees too, as well, you know, they're empowered to, you know, keep this under control. So, so just continue to do your job with that. These were the costs for last year regarding what we paid for in the spring. So the Open Division has been paying $2,000 to play, and as I said, this is going to be the big topic for discussion this evening. So as I'm going through this, I'm hoping you guys can brainstorm some ways on how we can, you know, mitigate the cost of, you know, the damage of Fairfax County raising the fees on us, right? And again, everyone is affected by it. You know, youth clubs, travel teams, adult leagues, you name it, everyone is being affected by it. So this is a slide from the spring, and it's the costs are going to change. And so I'm going to have Dane come up real quick, because Dane, he is our treasurer, and he budgets everything for us.
All right, so as far as the team costs, it's, you know, roughly we're going to go up about $200, not quite $200 a team. The county fee, and I'll preface this by saying the county has not raised their fee in over a decade. So it's a pretty big jump, so it hurts, right? But we would be here anyways if they increase it like everybody else does gradually over every year. So team costs, we were paying $8 for every player. Now we're going to be paying $10, so only a $2 increase. But the big increase is the out-of-county. The out-of-county players that we have, we were paying $30 to the county. We're now paying $50. So a 67% increase for out-of-county players. And we have a lot of out-of-county players. So that's the biggest driver for our costs. Our costs we're maintaining as tight as we can. I'll tell you, we spend our biggest expenditures are field fees. We paid the county so far this year just shy of $20,000 for spring and fall. And we pay to be affiliated. is just under 17,000 so far. That'll go up to probably 25. And then the referees, which is our biggest expense, referees are currently at like 32,000. And so we probably, and we actually show a net profit right now of 35,000, but we haven't paid the referees for summer, and that's going to come in at $32,000. So you see, we're pretty tight. We're at a couple $1,000s as a slush as we kind of just operate from season to season. So we can tell you the price tonight. As you guys know, some of you guys will pick a 10-season game or a 8-season and 3 playoffs. So all that goes into the calculation, and I can tell you exactly what it's going to be for tonight. And we have done a lot of stuff, live streaming. We spent money on live streaming. We've spent money on our website, which I think is pretty decent. You guys have to surf through it all the time as managers, so I think it's a pretty good website. It's custom built for us. So but anyway, that's all I got. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Yes, sir.
All right, so call me crazy here, but like, let's just assume that everybody on your team lives in Fairfax County. Like, does that bring the cost down?
In theory, it would. Yes.
Okay.
So the way I run the budget for the team is based on an 18-player roster.
Mhm.
So we pay 18 times 10, and then I do half out of county. So we're
Mhm.
well, it's eight players out of county. So 8 times 50,
Yeah.
$100. So that kind of gives you the basis. Then I build in the referees and a little bit of money for the affiliation, and then money for the a little bit of slush for website and whatnot. So I mean, we've talked about going to a system where individual players would register and pay that $50 out of pocket. We've never done that. We've always baked it into our price, and everybody pays across the board. But if we could reduce our out of county, we could certainly tighten up those figures going forward. I'm basically just doing it off a heritage number that we've seen in the past.
And how is that determined? Just based on your roster? Who's actually on your roster, what their address is?
Yes, sir.
You do the math.
Well,
I mean, honestly, like, who's really checking that, honestly, at the end of the day? Like,
Well, I mean, I can't say who's checking it, but I do
Yeah.
know we have 45% out of county. And so we're drawing in players from Maryland, and the funny thing too is, and I don't want to drag this out too long, but you think Fairfax County, it's really not. City of Fairfax is out of county.
Mhm.
Alexandria is out of county. Arlington's out of county.
Mhm.
So all those are, I mean, a third of my team is from Arlington. So unless I'm gonna fudge the address, then it's, stuck with a third that's just from Arlington alone, so.
Yeah. I got you. No, I was just curious how like that was audited and how that was presented to, because I was thinking to myself, like, I mean, theoretically, you could have all your players live in Fairfax County. If you wanted.
So I think if we in theory submitted rosters that only had Fairfax County players,
Mhm.
they would say, I'm raising a red flag, because we've had 40%.
Gotcha, gotcha.
And we can weed it back over time, maybe?
Yeah.
But it is being mindful if you
Yeah.
if you tell your players, the more in county you have,
Mhm.
Back in 2010, 11, we had a toggle that says out of county in county, and we would give the address. That's how the costs would have calculated. And John Scandaro's thing, but I think that it's completely right. If you know the total. just
I
throw in
I
30%.
pull all the rosters out of the website, and I got a formula in Excel, and it takes the zip code and compares it, and it posts me in county and out of county, and I can tell you in a heartbeat what it's gonna be. It's all just formulas, right? But it's overly complicated, and I gotta go over it 3 or 4 times so I don't make a mistake.
So all teams in the same division pay the same price, basically.
Yes, sir. Now,
That's
if
fair.
Like, that
in
sounds
general,
fair, though.
I mean,
If you got guys that are all in Fairfax County, like maybe 90%, and then you're paying for some other team that import players from Maryland, like, that's not really a fair allocation, would you agree?
I do agree,
Yeah.
so the only other option there is to go to individual registrations where, you pay a team fee, and then as your player registers, it pings them for the extra $50. I mean, that's the other solution, and other leagues do that, and we've talked about it, but getting the mechanism in the website and all that, and if that's the general consensus, we'll move towards that. We've kind of just been staying with the legacy.
I think it's very hard to get individual players through anything.
Yeah.
It's like literally, we went from email communication to WhatsApp communication. It's in their phone. They don't respond. 44 people and only 13 response, and then come and get them pay things. I think I pay, and then I try to collect. I still haven't collected for spring and summer.
But you're talking really realistically here about $10 more on average per player for a season. If you were gonna say a season due for somebody to be $125, it'd be $135?
I think so, yeah, we're basically going up $200 across 18 player roster.
It's a 10%.
Oh, that's I was thinking of like $200 a player.
No, but the thing is that when we have our meetings, right, we want to be sensitive to the fact that, you know, $200 is still, you know, that's still money, right? And we want to be mindful of that, and not just. I mean, we could have posted the prices online, but then we're gonna have people call, hey, why did it go up by this much, right? So it's better for us to upfront and explain it to you guys, so you guys know, well, this is why. And then the fact that one thing real quick, don't say names of another leagues in here. You know, we don't do that. We have a good relationship with everybody, but you know, other leagues do have their own mechanisms to be able to do it, right? To be able to capture it. But at the same time, you know. If it's up to an individual person, they could, write down something else, right? And as I said, you don't want to raise red flags at the end of the day.
And there's 5 or 6 fields out of service right now across the county because they're resurfacing, which that's the user money that's helping fund that.
One thing that, when I was talking earlier about how we can contribute, one thing that, and I talked to Teddy often and Happy Growth all the time and stuff in the Carta, is I can try and, you know, depending on the fields, you know, over this period, I may be able to reach back to some of the youth clubs that we have really strong relationships with. And I have a thought on that I can talk to you offline about.
Yes, please.
We need all the help we can get.
We need all the help we can get, yeah.
We're gonna fill every available game time this season. We
And
fill
also
almost all.
sponsors, so let's, I mean, I'll probably do this email.
Yeah, let's talk off.
If you're recording.
Yeah, it is, but we'll talk more offline. But to Dane's point, we're gonna be using every time slot this year, this fall,
And we're begging for more.
and we're asking for more. So, you know, again, so we that's why when we open it up front about these costs.
And the fields are in Fairfax County, you're really.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know who to talk to a couple.
Okay.
What's the cost difference with having one referee versus 3? Have you looked at that?
So
Like,
for,
over 40, whether we have ARs or not, we continue to argue about offsides. So might as well just save some money.
We tried the system.
You know,
So
no,
for the sake
it
of
would
it,
save money, but it's not.
it's not.
Yeah,
It's not spread out over all the teams. We would hear enough rumbling about not having ARs. What do you see?
We're gonna
You play in
complain
the
no matter
50s, so-
what, it's just I was thinking if we save ourselves whatever amount of money. maybe it's
So-
more.
I have a question about the ARs.
hold on one second. Anything that's unrelated to the slide that we're on, what we'll do is we will allot for some time. So whatever the subject is, we will. Is it related to cost?
No.
Okay, we'll get to it.
The only thing I can suggest is, as far as the roster, you said about 40% is out of state, out of the county.
Yeah.
That's about what, 10 players out of 25, right? In the open.
So
Yeah, so we actually base it on an 18-player roster, and so it's like
But we
7.
registered 25, right?
no. So what it is, your teams are allowed to have up to 25 on the roster, but you're paying for 18 because the most you can have in a game, check into a game, is 18 anyway. So what it is that your players 19 through 25 are essentially like your reserve and fill-in players because you need to be able to field a team. So that's what that.
What I was trying to get to is, like, you can have, with that in mind, let's say 25, just for the numbers up. You can have like 10 out of state and 15 in state. Then you can calculate that way, everybody be fair to pay the same amount every team. Just
Yeah.
as an option.
Yeah, that's why we're talking about it. So again, any ideas you want to throw out, we'll Dane will crunch the numbers and we'll we'll go from there. But keep in mind that each division is different from the other one. So
Correct, I was
right. So yeah, it's good. Okay, all right. Thank you, Dane. So moving on. All right. So as you know, men's open pays. You guys have a performance bond. Open teams. So again, the whole point of it, we instituted this a year ago. It's worked very well. It pretty much it is cut down on teams, not showing up to their games. It's cut down on poor sportsmanship because, again, if something were to happen, we could take money out of it. The whole point is just to keep folks on a straight and narrow, and it has worked. It has worked very well. It's fully refundable. We roll it over to the next season. So existing teams that are here, we've already paid your bond. You don't pay it again. It's rolled over into the next season. All right. And again, we take the game costs out. So if your team doesn't show up to a game, well, you're responsible for the game costs. It's in our league rules. It's been in our league rules for years. And the whole point of it is that, teams put in efforts to build the teams to come out and play. So you don't show up and play, and it's happened, and in fact, we're going to have to do it for going to the fall. We're going to have to compensate some teams. Where's that money going to come from? So, that's how it's always been done. Okay? But again, since the bond has been there, the open division has had the fewest defaults league-wide. And I could say with sportsmanship issues, they've had the least. So kudos to the open guys. It's worked wonders. Now, moving into 2025, next year, we discussed this last night. We're gonna roll it out league wide, and the reason why is because we've had an increased number of game defaults in the Masters divisions, and it is a pain when the assigner goes and finds refs, and then we gotta tell them, sorry, they can't work, and they pick these games before the season starts. Some drive long distances to come here. So when you do that to them, then they're like, well, what's the point of them wanting to come and work here? And it impacts us too also as well. So in the spring, in the over 40 division, and Garth, I'll have you come up and chat more about that. But the over 40 division, we had, a series of defaults getting towards the end of the season. In the 30s, unfortunately we had, I think we had about 5, and the bulk of them were coming towards the middle of the end of the season of this summer alone. So again, that's not good for us. And not to mention with the field situation, the last 2 weeks last 3 weeks, of the men's over 30 season during the summer, we had to go to people that we know to go get fields. So otherwise, we wouldn't have finished on time. So league admin, we put in a tremendous amount of effort in trying to find resources for you guys to be able to do this. So when teams don't show up, and it's like hours of work just goes out the window. It may not seem like a big deal to you guys, but it's a big deal for us because we're constantly on the phone, constantly emailing people, constantly calling the county, constantly do this, hey, do you know someone, and all that for what? Garth, real quick, you want to come up?
Yeah, man. We put a lot of time in the schedule and getting with the the signers and everything, and when we're out there and we get a call on games on Sunday, and we're getting a call on Sunday or Saturday, and we got to tell Leco, hey, we can't get these, we got a team that's not going to show up. So it just takes a lot on us. Obviously, we're just a lot of emails and phone calls, but I think what it comes down to is respect the league, respect the other teams, because the other team is paying to play a game. They want 8 games out of their season. They're paying, thousands of dollars to play. So if they don't get that game, we got to somehow refund them some money or give them some back. So it's a trickle down theory on everything on that. So, that's what we're thinking about. Well, we are in 25 spring. We're gonna go league wide with this bond. So if you look up the rules and everything about the bonds, it's, you get that bond, if you don't default on it, you can roll it over. But if you, somehow forfeit a game, just don't show up, it'll come out of your bond, okay? But it's a lot of work for us to do this, so we ask you just to respect everything about the process, right?
Yeah, thank you. And as I said, it's like, again, I know I manage a team in the 30s. I get it. I know it's like to be able to wrangle it's hard to wrangle folks together, but you got to be real with yourself. If you know you're going to struggle every week to field a team, then it's best to wait till you get an actual team that can consistently commit. Yes, sir.
Those 300 are for if you were to forfeit how many games, for example?
Just per game.
Just
So
one
what-
game? Just
right,
one
so-
game, is that
So the rules are, it's like, if you default on a game, you have to pay for the game cost. That's it.
and that is the
And so the point of the bond is to deter people
Yeah, of
teams
course,
from
of course.
doing it. So we have money up front there, and we just deduct it out. Now the other leagues do this. There's some leagues their bonds are like $500. I know State Cup recently they sent out an email guide. Their bond is like $1,500. But I mean you get the money back. But the whole point is to deter people from doing it. And also too, if like again, if the fines we have to take out or whatever, we'll take it out of there. So the whole point is to have the money up front, and it's been effective. And even one of our league partners is St. James. We were on a call with them, and they're even going to possibly take our policy and modify it and add it to theirs. So that's how impactful it is.
It's just one of the other things where like facilities mean, that's standard operating procedure.
Standard operating procedure.
For almost every adult league
Yep.
around, Baltimore, that we hear the same thing. Theirs is actually higher.
Yep. Yeah. So $300 is really we're low. We're low.
Is there a cancellation for the ref? Do we still pay them?
Yes, if it's too late, then we have to end up.
What's
paying.
that today, 24 hours, 48 hours, what's the?
Well, the way it should be looked at is the rules say in general, game defaults are just not acceptable.
Sure.
But I mean, now if we get ahead of it as soon as possible, I mean, can we try and mitigate it? Yes, but the whole point is that the issue we deal with is that it's hard to reschedule games. Like what Dane said, the fields are at max capacity right now. So, and I think we have like a field on Monday or Tuesday. No one wants to play on Monday for a
I
major
think there
league.
should be more. Like, I hate to come on Sunday and not to. I think there should be not 300, should be more. But what I'm saying is that like, I think the referees should be paid if they are like, oh, you're canceling on Sunday or Saturday or even Friday. They should be paid.
Well, yeah, no, and that's the whole point of it. The whole point is to get them paid so we can remain in good standing with them, right? Again, if a referee is not getting their money for the day, we lose out, and it's a budgetary item that we set, and that's it. So even like what Dan said, he works with a lot of leagues too. Also, that is standard operating procedure, and it's worked very well.
Yeah, in all the years doing this, we've only had one team that had a legitimate reason to cancel their game. They lost a teammate.
Yeah.
And so that to me is the only reason, right? It was the day before they couldn't field the team because they weren't mentally into it. So totally get that. Any of the other excuses I've heard just don't. I've been running teams for 3 decades. It's a pain in the ass, but I get teams out there.
Right. So I want to breeze along through this real quick so we can move into our, setting the pricing and all that other stuff. So again, online registration, guys. I think once we rolled everything out league wide, I think folks now know this is standard now. So again, make sure you get your rosters up and online. Some dates you do need to remember. So obviously tonight is our managers meeting. Registration is ending on the 25th of August. And then we're going to start the season the week of September the 8th, okay? We're still trying to enhance our systems to make it a bit more robust, so we can, try and have individual players pay for their own out of county stuff and all of the good stuff. And again, it's a process, right? We've had to do a lot of catch up the last 3 years. But one thing I will ask all the teams to do in the league. To make it easier on us when we, are preparing the rosters, that, the first couple weeks of the season, just have like your primary 18 players there so we know who they are. And now that we're back in season, so typically during the summer, we allow for really open rosters so that you guys can field teams to play, because it's summertime, you got stuff to do with your family, you gotta travel, whatnot. But it's back to regular rules now, you know, so, you know, your primary roster players, those are your folks you gotta roll with, okay? Because those are the names we submit to the county, those are the names we submit to our affiliate. You know, I'm gonna try and work on some stuff to where we can kind of, on the admin side, try and kind of like, you know, lock those items, you know, lock those players in. But, you know, really try and stick with those folks. It makes it easier on us when we're trying to sort out all our stuff administratively. Okay? And a big reason why you also do your online stuff again, so you can sign your waivers. There's a link, so if you have a guest player, they can go in, it's a Google link doc, they can go there and sign the waiver and we get it. So make sure your guest players do that. Like what Dane said, the registration cost covers 18 players in our affiliation. You get supplemental insurance for that, or secondary insurance. Now, if you have additional players that want it, that's fine. Send their names to us. Send the names of those players to us separately. Have your team name, and then you guys need to cover. And then you have to cover the cost. We'll get the money from your players to cover that. Okay. And with electronic check-ins, again, during the summer we were loose. Now but back to how it was in the spring. You know, if the player's not on the roster at check-in online, and the ref can't see it, the player's not going to play until their name is on the roster. So make sure that's done. And again, with the open, and pay attention to this, with the open, you know, their divisions is the most restrictive in terms of really having a number of players you can play, which is 18 checked in per game. During the summer, we've had folks, oh, can I have 19, 20? No, it's 18. That's what the rules say, unless you guys, you know, vote on it to change it in your division. The Masters level division, it's whatever, because, you know, we're older, we get injured, and we just need to have bodies, right? You young bucks, you don't need it. So, okay. Here are the field locations. So now, again, like what Dane said, we're going to be at max capacity right now for the fall. And I know in the past we've said that, hey, you know, if you guys want to make up games, let us know. Again, but don't make a healthy habit of it. But we are really limited. We are very limited on having additional field space to try and you know, have makeup games and all of that. It's going to be extraordinarily difficult to be able to pull that off. So I know Robinson Upper is going to have some. I think they have during the season a couple blackout dates in the middle of the week for Thursday night. So we have to try and figure out a way to kind of work around that, so we can get the games in, so we can finish the season on time. Right? We typically want to try and get the games done with at least, you know, a couple weeks left in the permits, because you don't know if we're going to have inclement weather. You just don't know what's going to happen. We have to prepare for what's in front of us. Okay, so Wednesday, Thursday is what the over 30 division losing the nights we're going to be at. So we do anticipate that we're going to be at 12 teams. I think we might have more. So we do have, and this is something you guys can discuss, we do have an extra we have Tuesdays at Robinson Upper. So if we want to be ambitious and try and accommodate those extra potential over 30 teams, then it means that we all might have to share, you know, playing a game or whatever on Tuesday nights during the season to be able to accommodate those teams. We predicted that we will get to this point, right? And you guys know how it was in, you know, 2021. We had less than 10 teams in the league. Now we're right around 30 or more. Okay, so we've tripled in size now. So this is what we call a good problem to have, right? People are coming, but we also have to find a way to accommodate them. So if you guys are willing, the over 30 crowd, if you guys are willing to play some games on Tuesday, then we can try and do that. It's what, yeah.
That's 2 more teams, right?
Yeah.
We had 1 game, so that's 2 more teams.
It's too grad.
Where would that be played?
Robinson Upper, yeah, we have that from 9 to 11. Okay, so that's something to think about. I know traditionally we play on Thursday. We had to have games on Wednesday to accommodate everybody, but this is you know, this is where we are. You can blame Rasheed for it because he puts on the good highlights and everyone wants to come and play. I'm just kidding. So we have Lowestdale Wednesday and Thursday, Robinson Upper on Thursday, Luther Jackson also on Thursday. We have Wakefield also on Thursday, starting at 7:30. The other fields start at 9. On Sundays that's when the Open and the 40s play. We have Robinson Stadium starting at 6. We're trying to work to see if we can get an extra hour out of that. If we do, that will allow us to be able to have a third game there. We're going to try some options to see if we can get Braddock Park for an extra hour. Hopefully, we'll see. But we have Braddock Park. We have Wakefield Park starting at 5 o'clock. Justice High School is a potential location. We're trying to work with the partner there to see if we can. The issue is having goals at that field. So we're going to try to work on that to try and accommodate so we get that field online for us to be able to use. Okay? So again, it's field space is extremely limited during this fall for us. And so if you guys need to have, you know, any makeup games or anything, yes.
Instead of moving to Tuesday, let's say, and we looked at morning games,
We don't have any morning permits.
there's no permits for
We
the
don't,
games.
like, my last conversation with the county today, everything is like, well,
When are permits are kicked in?
youth gets it.
No, when is our permits kicking? What date?
We're already in them right now.
We
So,
have permits already.
yeah, so the fall starts in the beginning of August,
Yeah, we are.
and it runs all the way to the end of November. And then back to what I said about us having issues is because Lowestdale was offline till beginning of September. We don't have it. Yes, Jason?
I just have a comment or
Yeah.
maybe even a question
Sure.
about these fields.
Yeah.
I brought this to your attention throughout the summer season, but some of the conditions of these nets are terrible. Like,
Yeah.
we need to get these nets replaced because, especially at Wakefield, like I was watching some of Rasheed's live streams and I couldn't even tell if it was a goal or not. The ball just went right through there. Like, I mean, we gotta have a functioning nets at these places.
So we when that happened, you mentioned that to us. We did, all three of us.
Mhm.
We actually went out to Wakefield because
Yeah.
Dane had some extra nets in his garage,
Mhm.
and we replaced them. Now keep in mind that other people use them, and other groups use them, and there's this big misnomer that the county replaces the nets. No, it's the field users that have to put the nets there. So if you remember when under the good old days when you guys had to set up the nets,
Mhm.
the flags and all of that, and you had to put it into a storage box. Well, we don't do that anymore. So
If we need to spend a little extra money per team to buy new nets, I'm in on. Like honestly, those
that's
nets,
something
I'm fine with that.
that's something we can discuss.
Okay.
You
I have
know.
one in my garage up
Yeah, I have one too.
Yeah, if you guys, and ultimately at the end of the day, the onus falls on us to maintain it, right? So yes, I get it. You're
So
100%
the bigger
correct.
piece is not necessarily acquiring the nets, it's getting volunteers to come help us put the ball.
Right.
Although,
Right.
I said it would look better on the live stream if a goal scored on a nice, tightly wound net rather than, some rinky-dink, piece of twine that's just barely hanging on.
Yeah, we should get the 3 little poles to
Yeah.
put behind the net.
Exactly.
So live streaming of the games, boy, that has been a game changer for us, right? So I know that regarding the live streaming of the games, there are a lot of folks who, and hopefully I'll be able to pull it up on the next slide, but it's really allowed us to really promote and give a lot of exposure to our league. I think we're really the only one in the area that has a fully affiliated master's level 2 also as well, aside from the Open. So, and you have a lot of guys who are transitioning out of that age to want to play in older divisions. And then with the Open, those guys, it's just like I see them like tagging the league all the time, little cool tricks and moves they do in a game or whatever. But it's great, right? It's a win-win. It makes us look good. It makes them look good. Their friends want to come and play. Hey man, I heard you have room for us, and so right, it's been a total game changer. Some of the cool stories I've heard. I think there was a jet. How does he play for Uruguay 40? Is it Thomas? Where is he from Uruguay? I think? Yeah. Gentleman from Uruguay, and his family was watching the game down there. It's out watching which was pretty cool, right? Or so again, it's
we had the big hit on ESPN.
yeah. I'm about to go. That's what I'm about to talk about too, also as well.
Sorry.
Yeah, but again, the general thing is, look, guys. You know, when Rashid and I are working, don't bother us, right? Again, this is not, and this is the apparatus we use. We bring this thing out every Sunday, and him and I are manning it. But I think when people see me, they think that, oh, there's a director there, so I can go and, you know, bomb him with my concerns about what happened on the field. Like, that's not my place. So, again, tell your teams to stop doing that. It is. There's nothing I can do about it. This is not a VAR setup, right? VAR does not exist in amateur soccer at all. The VAR system, if you guys research it, there's 42 cameras on a field at any given time, and you have a set of referees who monitor it, right? This is not 42 cameras. This is one stinking camera angle, all right? The only thing we can use it for is, like, if there is a non-soccer related dispute, so if a fight breaks out or people charge the field, we got to identify people where they are. Outside of that, we can't change calls. There's nothing we can do. View this as just entertainment. That's all what it is. Number jerseys all time, please. We've started cracking down on that. Don't have taped numbers. Don't have written numbers on the back of your jersey. You know, look the part so you can play the part. We've had to find individual players for that. If it gets too tacky, I'm not going to stream the game. Right? We're at a point now we cannot afford to look bad. Okay. And then this is the cool thing here so we went viral on ESPN. Let me see if I can get this thing working here.
While you're doing that, can I hop in and do some prizes?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see if I can the folks who are on the
Doing that?
yeah, let me try and
Because I gotta go home. I gotta work as a registrar for a youth club, and I gotta go finish registering my son's team. All right, Garth.
all right.
It's already
So while Dan's doing that, so this is the clip. I don't think I see it here, but this is a clip that went viral on TikTok. I think those who are watching on the virtual can see it. But basically, we were streaming an over 30 game, and like one of the guys on Lumar, 3 of his kids were watching the game at home, right, on their TV, and they somehow thought that their dad was playing in a pro game. Okay, and then I think it had like over 300,000 views on TikTok. On ESPN's Sports Center, I'm gonna see if I can play it again. On ESPN Sports Center, they had I think it had like over 50,000 views, and another channel had over 100,000. Like it
went over 1 million.
Oh, which one? TikTok?
I think TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. It just went crazy. So again, a byproduct of us live streaming. Who the heck would have thought that an over 30 league would have gotten this much exposure? So there you go. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. So there you go.
Okay, moving on. I have Garth has a medium DC United shirt. Okay. Ignacio Ugarte. Yeah. Oh, Ignacio, you got a little set of pint glasses. All right. Okay. And by the way, hopefully your brother signs with Manchester United. Ugarte.
Oh, I see.
Sorry, it's late. It's a bad joke.
Unfortunately.
Andres Bernal. All right. I'm going to give you this right here. He's got a Liverpool shirt on. I can't do that. I'm sorry. All right.
Dan's giving away some cool prizes, guys. So you know this is why you should show up to the meetings.
Santiago. All right, Santiago. I give you also pint glasses here. All right. Here we go. Okay. And then a couple more things here. Anybody an Arsenal supporter? Oh, good for you.
It's a gift.
Okay, hold on. Israel. Okay. I've got a scarf right here for you, okay? But I'm gonna send you on some.
Yeah, I'm transferring Sammy your tickets to
Okay.
to the game.
Eduardo. Here you go. Okay. And, hold on, a couple more things here. Dane. Okay. All right, here, you can, take this, and when, people are paying their bills.
We're gonna mark
Yeah,
down
this.
this.
Okay. Couple more real quick. Rashid,
Oh, here we go.
all right, Rashid. Okay. Scarf. All right. I just fill a couple more here, so. Ali? Okay. I have this is the All-Star scarf. You're welcome. All right, and this next one is, I've got, and you might wanna work a trade if he wants the Arsenal one. There's gonna be 2 tickets for our home match on October 12th.
Oh,
Michael? All right, so
Okay.
I will follow up with you. You've got my, that's why I'm gonna take the flyer too. So that's, a couple of tickets for the October 12th match. And we're playing, in the African Cup. And then, I've got 2 more tickets I'll do, okay,
Okay.
as well. And Teddy?
Yeah.
What?
What?
Oh, okay, all right.
There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That Teddy. That Teddy.
Yes.
The more handsome one.
Yes, so I've got 2 tickets for you as well, my info's on there, I'll make a note of this, I'll reach out to you tomorrow with a separate email, okay?
There you go.
Thank you guys, I've gotta get home, I live up by the Maryland Soccerplex, so, I've got a lot of drive.
Yeah, see you guys. Hey, hey, shout out to Dan, you guys.
Thank you guys, like I said, any other, support, that I can offer, whether it's, I'm gonna talk to them about sponsorship.
Yeah, well,
Fields, I've already got a couple of
Yeah.
ideas, to help you get some teams in and utilize fields, I have an idea on that.
I know a great field that we can use.
I do too.
All
It's called
right.
Audi Field. But
How
it's good.
how about that, outfield?
all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
All right, I'm gonna, guys, those who are listening, I'm gonna breeze plow through the rest of this so we can get to getting our items done. Again, this is being streamed live online as well on our YouTube channel. So, all right. So co-ed, we have been making an active effort to get co-ed back. Once upon a time, our league had a thriving co-ed. So we started with short-sighted over the summer. We're looking and hoping to continue that into the fall season. Okay. We do have a young lady who is helping us with those efforts. So again, talk about volunteering. That's one of the benefits of it. Now, we're finally at the part of the evening where we're gonna vote on some items and whatnot. So, the big thing, like I said, is the budget, right? So again, costs are going up. Teddy from Jan Meadow, he's a team manager of Jan Meadow, the men's over division, he proposed an idea. This is why we have these meetings. This is about you guys. So, any ideas you have? Those who are, I'm gonna stop the sharing here real quick. Those who are on the, let's see here. Trying to get my, why is this? Those who are on the virtual call, what we're going to do is we're going to, hold on, 1 second, hold on. Okay. Okay, those who are on a virtual call, those can hear it. So I took the presentation off so that you guys can see what's going on in here. I don't know how many open teams we have here, but what we'll do is before we get started, we'll kind of take a quick roll to see who's present here for the teams. So Garth, I'm going to have you write it down since you're closer to the. And you can use, oh, actually, or you can, that's fine, you can use that. All right, so starting with those who are listening in virtually, and we'll do this one at a time here. I see some folks are on the phone, are listening in. So if you can go ahead and let's start with the open teams first, and we'll work our way up. So open teams who are present. Let's start with the first open team. I see there's a 703, and then the last two numbers are 04.
Yeah, but I'm not an open team.
No. I'm just going around. So whoever the open teams are, let's start first. Okay, Alejandro, go ahead, and if you want to mute yourself.
Hi, John. I'm Alejandro. I'm coaching Barbaros FC.
Okay.
Urban Men's Division.
Okay, thank you, Alejandro. Barbaros FC, Men's Open. Thank you, Alejandro. Next open team.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next open team. Adam, thank you. Go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Adam Redmond for Syndicate FC.
Adam Redmond, Syndicate FC. Thank you, Adam. All right, Andrew Aguilar.
Coaching Anfield FC.
Anfield FC. Andrew Aguilar. Jeffrey.
Hi, Teddy. So for Mason Goat, Devil's Honor. So.
Okay, Mason Goats. What? Mason Goats. Mason Goats. Mason Goats. Yes, and that's the team. Yeah, we're getting the roll for all the open teams right now that are on the virtual call. Okay, thank you, Jeffrey. Any other open teams on the virtual call? See, there's 20 people in there. Any other open teams that are in the virtual call?
Yeah, Eric Enriquez, Wash Boys.
Okay, yep. Eric Enriquez Wash Boys. Thank you, Eric. Any other open teams on the virtual call? Yeah, Eric Enriquez, yeah.
That's 5 teams.
Okay, all right. If there are any more, we're going to move in a room in here. I think Coach said you're the only one for Jan Meta. So, Jan Meta. Okay, so as of right now, off the top of my head, I believe we have a total of 9 open teams who have confirmed their participation. And we have, is that 6? We have 6 that are, okay, that's fine. All right, just don't know who else is present here. Okay, next up, virtual call first. We'll start with over 30 teams. All right, first over 30 team, go ahead, please. Make yourself, so we could take your name and the team. Tovar. Supernova.
Tovar Green representing Supernova FC.
All right, Supernova FC, Tovar, thank you. You guys had one heck of a season this year. All right, Fatty. Fatty just raised his hand. Fatty, please go ahead.
Laguna.
All right, El Guna. Thank you, Fatty. El Guna FC, thank you. All right, next up, Nielsen.
Crystal City FC.
There you go. Nielsen for Crystal City FC. All right, who is also next? Over 30. Patrick. Patrick's for Lumark.
Yeah, Lumark.
All right, thank you.
Andy Ludwig from Colorado is here, but I think there's also a manager in the room.
Hey, Andy. How's it going?
Good, so I couldn't be there in person tonight.
It's all right. It's all right. Andy would have you down. Andy Barrett Bravo. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
All right, who is next? Next over 30 team.
Adam Wilson for United.
All right, Adam Wilson for United. Again, for over 30 guys, what you guys should consider is possibly, if we do need a time slot for 2 more teams, you might have to consider playing on Tuesday. again, it's not the best. We are trying to work on some items right now, so we can do that. Next over 30 team on the virtual call, please. Next over 30 team. Are there any more over 30 teams on the virtual call? All right, in room.
We're not confirmed just yet, we're probably joining over 30, like what we do for Rail Ballers FC.
Oh, that's who I've been using. Okay, cool. All right. All right, Jason, Rampage. All right, next up.
Santiago, Red Devils.
All right, thank you. You guys prefer Nova Red Devil or just Red Devils?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. All right, fair enough. Okay,
Marcelo Tiki.
all right, thank you.
No, I'm from Barado.
Very well, okay, all right. Any other over 30 teams present? Well, there's my team, but I don't know what it is for me, so. Oh, Fabio, raise your hand, please. You have your, go ahead. Fabio, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to unmute. This is Fabio. The team is Fighting Bods, BODS.
Okay, thank you. Again, like I said, for over 30, if we do go over 12 teams, if we get to 14, we're gonna have to.
That's 12 right
We're okay. So we're at 12. Okay. So if we go over that, because I know there's some potential over 30 teams that could potentially want to jump in.
Can I jump in and say something about that?
Yes. Real quick, because we have to get to the over 40 teams. Go ahead.
So, inevitably, there's going to be cancellations throughout a season, through not just over 30, through whatever. So, wouldn't it be smart of us to not go past the 12 so that you have this Tuesdays as maybe a makeup day? Because it's going to happen no matter what you say or do, whether, whatever, it's going to happen through any of the leagues. So, any 50s, opens, whatever, use those Tuesdays.
You have a good point.
That,
Yeah, you have a good point, but we've said, I don't know if we've always said in our meetings that we don't want to turn teams away. If we can accommodate them, we will accommodate them. We're not the only league in this position that, is going to be operating at max capacity. Do you guys want to mention anything about that?
right, but at the same time, in all the other seasons, you guys are allowed to have one makeup game that, hey, for whatever reason you can't make it, you allow it to make that up somewhere in the season. You're taking that away by adding that other team, and not just over 30. You're taking away from every league, every team in every league throughout NVSL. Adult.
You do have
That's not going to work. We're not just talking about over 30. We're talking about everybody across the board. That's not going to work. They're going to need through any of the leagues. There's going to need to be a day for them to make up shit.
Yeah, you do have a good point on that. Now remember, again, this is, right now we're at 12. So again, this is tentative. Now, another thing too is that from just our experience doing this stuff is that a team may say, "Oh, we're gonna jump in and last minute they don't." That stuff also happens too. But I don't know if you guys want to comment on that regarding.
I mean, right now we're still going through the process of permits right now, so we're still potentially could have the space for more teams. So we only need one more slot to accommodate 2 more teams. So we're not saying it's no or yes right now, but like we're working on it right now, and we still have time. So we're gonna work through this in the next couple of weeks and find out what we can do.
Yeah, but you do bring up a valid point, and again, like I said, we
still have the Monday slot too.
Yeah, we do. We also have a potential money slot too, also as well. So again, like, this is a good problem for us to have. We didn't imagine this would be right here, right now. So, but again, very good point, Adam. Thank you. Any other over 30 teams? Okay, over 40. Over 40 on the virtual call. First.
See you guys, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
Okay, William.
I'm supposed to be there too.
Oh, okay, I'll see you there.
William.
Hello?
Hello, Beer?
Yeah, Beard. Thank you, William.
Yeah.
I got it.
Next over 40 team present on the virtual call.
Most of them are here.
Okay, all right. If there's no more on the virtual call, who's in here that's for over 40? Let's start from the front.
Sorry, this is Rob Dryden from Winmark.
Sorry,
I'm virtual Dryden.
Rob for
This
okay.
is Rob Dryden from Winmark.
Mark. Okay, we work over 40. Thank you. All right, Ali will go to you.
FC Tron.
Okay, thank you.
Rangers.
Rangers, thank you.
Old Dominion.
Old Dominion, thank you.
Motors.
And we have Motors, Jay. I got a shout out to Jay. Jay is the one who's allowed us to have this spot for quite a moment. Thank you. William, do you have a question? I think you're William. Your hand. Okay, he put his hand. Go ahead. No. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So we have everybody. We've accounted for everybody that is here. So I'm going to go back. I'm not going to share this slide, but let me scroll all the way down. So now regarding the votes, and I'm just going to go through this verbally here. So those of you who can't see the slide, it's you're not really missing much here. So what can you guys vote on? What can be proposed? Well, first and foremost, anything that's in the league rules, right? If there's anything you've seen in league rules that need to be changed or need to be updated, freshened up, those are some of the things you should be thinking about. As you know, we have an addendum for each division that is more or less a separate set of rules for that division that's related to the league rules, but only applies just to that division only. So, for example, the over 30 division had a sin bin, and they took it out in the spring. So we have no sin bin in over 30 division. And over 30 division, they allow for slide tackling. Over 40 division does not allow for slide tackling, and they have a sin bin. So those are examples of what is division specific. Okay, so current team managers, you guys should, things you thought about during the season that ought to be, updated or changed or whatever it is. Again, keep in mind it falls in line with USSF, but we can go ahead and entertain those. And like there's one item that came up, and I have it here, which was a good one that we discussed. For example, what constitutes a tie, right? So overall, we know what a tie is, but then we felt that this was brought up, and we felt that okay, this was something that probably needed to be strengthened up, right? Give what is an actual definition of what a tie is. So those who don't know, they can visually see what it is. So there's no dispute over that when there's a tie in the final standings, right? So that's an example of something. Some items in the rule book have been written a long time ago, and maybe the language isn't, maybe wasn't written the best at the time. Okay, so that's one that I put in here that we should take into consideration. Probably add in an example for that. Another thing too that I thought of and I put in here, like for the men's open, this could apply to other divisions too. Is again on the field, the teams, it should be the players only, right, along with the coach or coaches. I know social media is a big thing. I know folks want to take pictures and stuff. So an idea I thought of is like, okay, well, let's solidify having a number of coaches you can have on the bench, and then maybe like each team is allowed to have a photographer near the bench. But then if you want to take pictures, you're off the field, right? Something like that, because we see a lot of teams that really want to do it, but then at the same time, some folks kind of take it overboard, right? They will maybe bring somebody on and hey, put this jersey on. It's like, I saw you. You're not a player, so. Certain ideas. Another thing too, also as well, and the last bullet point that you see here has to do with what format do you want to see for your division, right? So if typically 8 teams. I saw some league had written somewhere if it's 8 teams, then automatically the top 4 go to the playoffs. But let's say if it's 10 or more teams, then the top 6 go, right? In the open division, they voted to have rosters locked going into week 8, to keep things fair, right? That's a great rule. So those are things that you have to think about, or you should be thinking about. But then keep in mind that the number of games that you guys end up playing, like what Dane said earlier. So the Open, for instance, when they voted, they said, okay, we want an 8-game regular season. We don't want to do consolation anymore. So they voted that out some time ago, and they said we just want to have just straight playoffs. So that the costs of that changed. So you're playing an 8-game regular season plus 3 extra games, right? And then the cost is split out evenly between the teams. So that's how you should be thinking about stuff. The rules are available online, so you can pull it up. If those of you who are at home, you can look it up on your computer. Go to the main website, nvslsoccer.com, pull the PDF up, go to menu, hit the rules, pull the PDF up, and you can, what items that need to be changed, right? Or need to be enhanced, whatever it is, right? Any ideas, and we can go ahead and we can do that. Okay? So, and then also too, the next thing too, you guys should also be thinking about, again, like I said, the budget, in terms of, how many games you guys want to play per division. The over 30 division and the 40s have been playing like 10-game seasons. So we're going to pay more money, right? So again, think about that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have everyone here we're going to take, let's see, it is 8:30 right now. Is everyone good taking 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes for everyone to break out into caucus? I use my old model UN words. Everyone is caucus, right? Break out into caucus and then decide, whatever you guys want to do. So, definitely definitely decide how you guys want to go ahead and some ideas that you have. Those who are in a virtual call, feel free to discuss that. I've been trying to figure out how to do breakout rooms on this darn thing. I don't know how to do it, so it'd be nice if I could break out the rooms into, let's see here. Okay, I'm not sure how to do it, but I don't know if you guys can see a breakout room there, but there's those on a virtual call, there is on the bottom right, there's an icon where it says activities, and you should see breakout rooms, and I tried to set it up. I haven't done it before on this. So there's a men's open breakout, a men's over 30 breakout, and a men's over 40 breakout. And I don't know if there's a way to do it, but anyway, try that, see if that works. If it doesn't, then we'll just you guys have to discuss among yourselves how you guys want to, some ideas that you guys have. And then, you can go ahead and put it into the chat as well and go from there. All right, so I'm going to start the clock now. It is about 8:30. I will pick up around between 8:40, 8:45, and we'll go from there. How's that sound, guys? Good? So you're the only open team that's here.
So I can discuss it with you.
You want to come up, or everyone here will be able to hear you. So let's see these darn breakout groups. Let's see how I can do it. 3 rooms. Okay. Oh, okay. It looks like I can do it here.
Yes, if you guys want to know
So guys, I'm going to try and set up these breakup rooms right now. So, all right.
I have to just go through because I know some other teams have set up scrimmages already, and then I'll just get back to the other thing was, I want to have like a tryout for the managers. I think,
Somebody picked a really good player, that one guy who came in. I saw him playing, and I thought of crushing somebody else, he didn't play.
Did you get it? Yeah. So
Is there a team in over 30 league now?
Right.
It always struck me because we almost have to like kind of decide where you're kind of aged out of it together.
Yeah.
People trust me.
There's a bathroom.
I try playing as much open as I
Jay,
could, but, like,
where's the restroom?
I start
Okay.
I can't do that on Sundays anymore, man. Like the Thursdays just work so much better for
Unless you want
us.
to, unless you want to scrimmage,
Yeah.
if you guys are gonna be able to use your
What
team.
league did you play? Oh, you were not.
Okay, guys, I'm figuring out this breakout room here. So.
Let's see.
Okay.
They were,
Yeah.
they needed to go, so we got now.
Yeah, it was really weird that whole COVID period, kind of just messed up the whole dynamic
We've
of
got few
RBB.
people that are in the,
Yeah, we went to FXA and played like 8v8. I was like, that just wasn't our team. Our team was an 11v11 team. And I went to go play 8v8. We were competitive, but it was just a lot more fitness than like the guys were. We went back to 11v11. Like, oh wow, we're so much better team. Yeah.
No, I'm saying that like I've got 3-4 guys that I'd like to.
Yeah, it's fun.
try
If
them
you
in my
do,
and then that schedule is even
it's a real good. It's a good league. It's a fun. It's a good league. In fact, I think it's probably the best over 30 league. I think by a long shot. It was. It was a good over 30.
Yeah, that would be.
So,
Why don't you guys just, you know,
Most of
talk
the
to your
guys
team?
over 30 league are all.
I already
Ex-college, at least college players. Some are so semi-pro, some ex-pro.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty
Yeah,
good.
so you're great. I'll just gotta confirm the field for you.
Like I played
And
open,
then
and then I played
whoever else can
over
play,
30,
you.
and it was
And if-
maybe the only difference I noticed is
Everyone can play. We have
faster.
fields.
But the technical, the technical rate there, like the technical rate was, like, over 30 technical is way good.
You gotta remember.
Are you gonna burn my center back?
If not, I can try to share it. That's the only tough part. That's why we traffic live in here. It's just easier.
Yeah, it's
To have it. Okay. Let's see.
We've been in the league since the league was 2.0 version, since like it came back in 2022 maybe? It was 2022.
So it was already requested.
But
I can find
Okay.
They may be able
Yeah,
to
like 18
chat with each other,
Maybe.
but not
legacy teams that were.
Okay.
not the audio part.
Yeah.
We played in the league.
Okay, guys.
So maybe like 20.
I set out some breakout rooms here so you guys can discuss
To get the,
um,
some of the stalwarts.
to discuss what it is that you guys
So
are
there's,
Now we see a lot younger over 30 teams coming in. And we
discuss
have to do
stuff.
that with our team.
So if it works, please put something
Play like
in the
teams that age out of our
Hey,
over 30 team. And then
Are
just
the
breakdown
breakdown
a new class, just to stay competitive.
so go ahead and
Keep the players from getting hurt all the
see
time.
if that's working for you guys.
Come back after that.
put them
Yeah,
in
when
and
you're in
then
your
come back.
30s and you get hurt, man. It's not like you
Just
come
like
back the
what we
next
did this
season.
season.
You do, but maybe you lost a step.
You
You
can
know?
use these.
Tony.
So let me just double check
Yeah,
these with Teddy and
got
everything,
enough
and then
guys
I'll just confirm with you guys and
Put
then
people over
whoever.
30, so when you do get a couple of
Just let me know.
Either way,
exemptions, you get like three exemptions. So if you can feel
Tony
like-
Lampy, which team are you with?
You get like 15 guys.
See, I see Eagle is in here. Eagle, I'm gonna try and put you into an open breakout room as well. See if this is working. It's my first time doing this.
I like it too, just because like it's nice to like start to
Now we have Monday,
Thursday night.
we have Tuesday, we're
I
off.
can enjoy the weekend with my family. Some of the guys that are not
Okay.
play on Sunday night.
All right, men's open breakout room. Can you guys hear me?
I know a lot of people are remote, but
Those are like the 30, 31-year-old guys. You know,
Is this working here for you guys?
and they play,
Sunday 7.
you know,
Sunday 7.
let me
play
see.
over 30. but they
Stadium.
can-
Yeah, this is
Okay, can you guys hear each other in your breakout room?
You good? Your team good?
Yeah, 20.
Yeah, Jeffrey, Alejandro, Adam, can you guys hear each other in your breakout rooms? Okay. Okay, all right, so feel free to go ahead and discuss what you guys want to do. Forgive me for not mastering this, but this is my first time working with this. We have one in-person in here, Jan Meta, so perhaps we can try. I'm going to try my best to get him looped in, okay?
Somehow,
works really well in doing that, like just in my experience, like giving them another you know, like basically letting them off in a way that's like not cutting cords and they're saying, listen, because the rest of this thing is something this way, you know, of course, even the people I bring you on, you know, with us, like, you know, a couple of years is not that far away.
If the problem is,
It's way to the our speed is like over here.
Okay.
Okay,
all right. Okay.
I got guys that are like
Huh?
34, 35, like, over 40, they're not eligible for, over 30, and it's certain 30, prime and over 30, but like over 35.
Okay. Is he here?
No, but I think it's on the
Okay, hold on 1 second. All right, hold on 1 second.
Yeah, that would be really nice to have like over 35. Yeah. Yeah.
Where is he?
He's been doing that.
Yeah, he's
More of the
we have
Is he here?
Es que eso es la vaina que
I
yo
don't see him here, and I gotta move. Hold on, I gotta move Andy in here.
cuando se juegos, si uno paga por consolation, como dicen,
Yeah, I think we're gonna do
consolation.
like 77. And the
sea,
Sunday league, yeah.
paga por jugar.
77. Some of the older guys that aren't on our over.
Okay, all right, yeah. Coach Teddy, come in here real
Stay
quick.
together, like,
Guys, here's Coach Teddy with Jan Meta. He's part of the men's open breakout room. If you guys can roll into the discussion, that'd be great as well. So I'm gonna have, can you guys hear? Okay, yeah, go ahead. So this is Coach Teddy with Jan Meta. So include him in your conversation if you can. This is completely experimental. I'm gonna jump around with other groups, make sure you're doing okay, all right? Yeah, go ahead and jump in.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
It's like two-thirds size.
Everybody's muted their phones, so.
But it's wide. So the nines don't get too.
The only thing that I have, I want to discuss with you guys is the roster that we have, like 25 to register. I know they're saying that we only have 18 players per game. Do you guys, what do you guys think about just whoever is registered on that 25 roster, whoever shows up should be able to play as long as it's on the roster?
Coach, I'm sorry, what was the question?
We sign up 25 in the roster, right? And instead of limiting it to 18, can we use all the whoever shows up out of that?
Yeah, it's already set up like that. So what it is on your roster
game, instead of just allowing just 18 players, whoever is on that 25, even all 25 comes up, it's up to the player, the coach.
So you're saying having more than 18 players per game?
Correct.
That's USSF. You can't go beyond that. So our rules that we have it, that's the way it's adopted. It's meant for that. It's meant for it open to happen. That's the only thing. You can discuss it. You can discuss what I'm saying.
There's no reason to vote for it. It's already 18 players.
The only exception with that is tipping. That's what I'm telling you. So that's the reason why.
It becomes harder. Like if you line them up on the 25, they show up for that 18 players. It's hard to say you can't play.
I get it.
Unless we can say first half this many players on the second half, as long as we can add them in the league. Does that make sense? I
get what you're saying, but I'm just telling you that's the issue you're gonna run into. I'm just telling you.
But no, if you voted, everybody wants it. You guys will allow us to do that?
So again, we want to keep in line with what USSF says. That's essentially what.
For example, like you have 18 players in the first half, right? So like 5 players play the first half.
And then some leave and others come back.
And at halftime, take 5 out, put 5 in. So it's still
that's the rest won't even allow you to do that. The refs won't even allow you to do that.
Yeah, but if you say, if the league said yes,
That supersedes it. That supersedes it. But feel free to discuss it because yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying what they would allow, what they would not allow. I get what you're saying. It's a good idea, but they want to. They just won't allow it. It will go against their rules.
Sorry, that's all I had. You guys want to discuss something else?
I can show you how the structure of the playoffs will go. They will play number 4.
No, it's only the top 4. My understanding is only top 4 advances to the playoff. No, correct. So basically after the season, you play semifinals and the finals. So only have 10 games in total. You mean like you have eight teams, 9 teams right now, right? So everybody plays 8 games. Or maybe I think last time in the spring, I don't know how they did it in summer. We had 8 games, 8 teams, and all of us played one team twice in order to make it 8 games. So the top 4 advance to the playoff, then you play semifinal and final. Okay. I mean, it would be nice like if you have more teams, then you can have more, maybe 3 games. You can have like 1 through 5 or 1 through 6, and whoever wins the regular season will have a bye week. Then you go, then from 2nd to 6th, play each other, and quarterfinal, then the semi-final, and then the final.
One Wednesday fixture and then the rest of the
But right now, I think we only have 9 teams, I believe.
And we had a 14 playoffs.
Y una liga
the semifinals.
O sea, formato liga.
There's consolation for yeah, so you will play games.
Yes,
So there's a lot of noise.
Pero que si usted todavía está peleando por algo.
So that's the thing, if you're registered on a roster,
no, the schedule is not out yet, but it starts on September 8th.
And I was great, the way they did it was they played it every
Oh yeah, schedule. Yeah, all the games are on Sundays.
Hicimos un podio mundial.
I only have like really one thing that I wanted to bring up about over 30s. It really just has to do with scheduling, and it has to do with semifinals at Wakefield. Having back-to-back. I feel like we did it in the fall, we did a great job of it by having the games. And I feel like we should do that.
yeah, so that's one of the things. I thought it was 37. 37 underage players, 2 players. And I think it's great, yeah. We want to play, okay, we're playing underage players.
But then, that doesn't work out into this, like, we intentionally did that?
The other thing that we can suggest is, if we have 9 teams, we can have
For a knockout game, that's not really.
one from first place to 5th place. At the end of the season, can advance to the playoff. Whoever wins the season group, we get a bye week the first week. Then second place will play 5th place, and third place will play 4th place. Then, like, we'll have a quarterfinal, semifinal, and a final. What do you think, guys, about that?
Oh, I'm glad those steals we were playing, we had never been to before. I had to read the acronyms.
Yeah, like they said, that like might add in the cost on that. We decided to do that. Based on how much it would cost.
Did you see that field?
That means you're just gonna have one additional week to the schedule.
Of the grass, you can see it had gone like 2 inches thick down in there. People were tripping on that.
So, I think we have 8.
It was good.
Oh yeah, one more thing, I was gonna ask you about next year. I know you said.
So everybody's good on that?
West has.
But if we had 12,
Okay.
I feel like.
And I sent an email out there, we never sent a team by
Here's what we're trying to do.
Okay, cool.
So I sent out a message to others,
It didn't mean you'd have 4 teams in the same division, right? You'd have 2
We
divisions.
would have, I mean, we could do that. They'd be great that happens.
That's a pain. Thanksgiving, you know, it's like.
It's like it's good and bad for whoever wins the first, whoever finishes first place, because it's gonna have one less team game to play. Or if you don't care, you'll get it too.
I like kind of betting the teams, like, I know, but that team was like a joke, that team like shouldn't have been, and that was a waste of like a field permit. That was a bad problem. You know, but adding that to
So it's like, 80% of the time is right, and 20% of the time. That 20% of the time,
Yeah, I got you. I know you can't really be like subjective like that, but it's just like, I think even being, you really need to be honest with yourself, like the caliber of teams you're playing. You wanna come to this week and play a dogfight every single week. Like, you know, like, is that really what you guys, are you guys up for it? Congratulations. Good job, man.
Yeah, so, I hear you. Give me 1 second, we check in on some other folks.
So there were a lot.
Good, man, how about
You
yourself?
guys good here?
There were a lot of right?
We couldn't.
Good, you're good here?
Yeah, we.
Open guys, how you guys doing?
Decided one thing.
You guys decided one thing? Okay, all right, we'll save it real quick. Okay. All right, let me, back.
Let's go. Thank you.
We had a lot of guys hurt, we had a lot of guys.
If we ever found a team that might need them,
That's the first time we ever.
it's a great.
You guys had a lot of stuff.
I gotta go to the co-ed.
okay, I'll get names. Hey, over 30 guys, how you guys doing in your breakout room? Hey, over 30 guys, how you guys doing in your breakout room? Have you guys decided? It's going good. You guys decided on some stuff? Almost done? Okay, all right. Thank you. Just checking in with you guys. We'll break out of here shortly.
Do you guys want any of the food?
It was a
So
good
please
week.
thank you. I'm gonna just leave
It was
it.
hard for my guys to get
I gotta
shots.
go.
You guys were blocking all the
Yeah.
shots.
Okay.
So we got in behind the defense.
No,
No, it was good, man. They played really good. They deserved the win.
No, pero teniendo un aparte,
Jason, stop playing in that Sunday, whatever stupid league you guys like, can ask them to play.
You can get them, take them.
They like playing, because you guys are stomping all those teams. I don't even like playing.
sí, exacto.
What's that? Are we playing something beer
I
and
need,
you know
I
something?
need a couple of
The
those.
Alexander Lee's, like, you guys question? Yeah, but like, we don't really, it's a good thing that we don't put much effort into that league, because if we put any effort into that league, I mean, we put any effort into a real league, you get touched.
Bueno, no, a mí me
Like,
gusta.
we don't,
Este,
it's a beer league, man, our guys are always, have a long weekend, they show up to the game, we hope that most of the guys are at least been sober for a couple hours.
You guys are getting too old for that.
Hey, it's the football season, man, you're not gonna get me to show up to games like 100% either. Yeah. Yeah, man, I
No, y
like
lo
to
que
sit on
leí
my
la vez
couch.
pasada por mensaje fue que si
Anyone want anything from the cooler?
de la gente
Game
que
comes up
se
at
llaman
7
en
o'clock,
los
I'm like, I'm already
que
having it.
pésimo para el
Yeah,
todo.
I'm just what you do.
O sea, que hagamos una lista entre nosotros, o sea, los que ya confirmaron, y usted ponga ahí en qué posición juega, así vemos qué tenemos, qué no tenemos. Igual, usted se hace cargo ahí, hablo ahí para apoyarme. Soy el coach dentro de acá. Sí, hablo ahora.
Oh, Sunday nights is easier for me, now that my kids are all
Yeah, it is.
older. And then you guys you're starting to get
¿Y qué ha pensado de eso? ¿Usted cómo maneja eso de los cambios? ¿Cómo lo maneja? ¿Por tiempo?
Sí, yo creo. Porque el problema de este tipo de
And I'll tell you, I actually talked with Victor today. I got to a lot of
You should ask
so.
Kevin Gray.
He says he's gonna probably start playing with us.
Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and come back in here because we're about 5 minutes over. All right.
He's playing really good with us.
Okay, breakout teams are in session. We're gonna. I'm gonna close break. Close the. All right, the breakout room is gonna be ending in 25 seconds, so we'll go ahead and get to that. Those who are in the break room, we are going to be resuming, so if you can come back in, and so we can hurry up and knock this out and get out of here. Okay, all right. Welcome back, everybody. I hope the breakout rooms worked out for you all. Let me see here. Welcome back, everyone. Okay. Oh, there's one more team we wrecked on for the 30s is Coach Obama, so I think I'll mix this. Makes the 13. Coach Obama, that's his thing. Coach Obama. That's in that 13.
We're together with him, we split.
Yeah, takes him to 13. Okay. All right. Okay, all right. Welcome back, everybody. So, all right. Hope you guys have been able to have some good, healthy discussions with what you guys want to do for the upcoming season. Hope you guys have been able to decide your game count and all that other good stuff. Garth had to go run and play a game, so Dane will be taking over the secretary/treasurer duties while we're doing this, so we can kind of keep track of everything that that we're doing. So let's start with the open first, real quick. since they're typically it's harder for me to get them all together at once. It's the best time to catch them all. So with open teams, we have I think we have a total of 6 present right now. Actually, I saw Eagle in there. Eagle FC, are you guys present now? They're in the bottom.
Yes, sir. Yes, correct.
Okay, let's add Eagle FC's name there. Okay, Eagle, were you able to participate in the breakout room? I added you guys in there when I saw you guys jumped in.
Yeah, I was there.
Okay, all right. Okay, open, guys. First, let's switch it up. Let's, since we have one open representative here for Jan Meta, and we have the remaining on the virtual call, can one person on the virtual call go ahead and openly discuss what it is you guys want to bring to the floor for a vote, and we'll go from there.
So the breakout room we discussed.
Guys, hold on real quick. Yeah, could you speak up, Alejandro, please?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, and then so that Dane can take what it is you guys have discussed, because we want to hear it clearly, so we don't miss anything.
Of course. So if I'm understanding correctly, there's 9 teams. So we discussed doing the top 5 teams going into the playoffs, with first place team on the regular season having a bye week the first week, and then going off, and it'd be second place 5th, third place 4th, and then from there it would be the winner of one of the games then next plays the first place team. I believe isn't that kind of how we were discussing
Yes,
it?
the lowest
Adam.
ranked team winner will play the first.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a traditional playoff setup. Yeah, you have the lowest ranked team plays the top team. That's how it is.
Okay, and so we discussed that. I think we were all on board with that, having the top 5 teams moving on
Okay,
postseason.
postseason. Okay, you want to do top 5. Dane, do we articulate that properly?
Yep, we're expecting 9 teams and we got 5 going to playoffs. So we're playing, it would be 8 regular games and then the playoffs.
Correct. So are you guys, so in terms of regular season games, is it going to be an 8-game regular season?
Yes.
Okay, 8-game regular season for open. Okay, and then, so then that means how many extra games would be for postseason? Does that mean it will be 3?
The top finisher will play
Be on a-
2, but the other 4 teams, well, whoever wins will have 3 games.
Okay, so the way Dane, I think will, so what it is, we look at the number of games
Correct.
total played. That's how that's how it'll be
It will be
calculated.
11.
Yeah, but
Oh,
you got 5 teams playing in the playoffs, right? So 2 and 5 play each other, 3 and 4 play each other, 1 has a bye. Then you have 3 teams in the mix.
Plus 1.
Yeah,
No,
that's
yeah.
when I started getting confused a little bit.
So,
You have 2 teams in advance, and then you have the first place team that had a bye, so I don't really know how you play off with 5 teams.
I think,
Do that.
Yeah, I guess it would be fixed with 6 teams going
Because
through.
you have to pull tax unless you have 6. The first
So
person, second,
basically-
bye.
so the way that would work, I think I've seen this before. So the way it would work is the first place team would be on a bye.
Second place will play 5th place.
Second place 5th. I'm a visual guy, and then third place 4th. Correct.
Yes, the winner.
And then so then that means then out of one of the 2 brackets, then one would advance straight to the semifinal, and then another team from the other bracket will advance and play the first place team. So that means another team would be waiting. So that means then that's going to stretch the season out.
Yeah, that's no good.
You gotta have 6 teams, guys.
Yeah, you had that 2.
Yeah, it's better to have it's for the sake of finishing the season out in time, because if you do that, then you're gonna be running way into November. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but you have to also factor in the time component too, also as well, for us to effectively finish the game. So typically when we set up seasons, we wanna you want to have an even number. And you guys are already going into the season with an odd number, which is 9 teams. Unless a 10th team jumps in into the regular season, we're already running bye weeks,
I was thinking it is just.
which would be difficult. Now,
Even with 6 teams in the playoffs, it still doesn't work out, because you got 3 games, and 3 teams are gonna advance. So then how do you?
First and second would have a bye.
yeah, the first and second would
First
have
two would have a
the
bye.
first and second will have a bye. If it's 6 teams, the first and second will have a bye, and then the other 2 teams will play each other to determine who plays the first and second place team, and it goes on from there.
Basically a quarterfinal.
So it'll be a
semifinal.
quarterfinal. It'll be a quarterfinal, semifinal, final format. Now, keep in mind, yes, any format is possible, but you also have to keep in mind that the amount of time that we have, because typically we factor in for weather events, rain, unexplained. Like for instance, during the summer, there were instances where the county did not allow us to use school fields after a certain time, but we were okay because we had park fields, so we moved the games there and things were uninterrupted. But if we're in a situation where we might have to move a game somewhere and we don't have the space to do it, that could be a problem too also as well. Good idea, excellent idea. I could see the logic behind it, but then at the same time, in terms of time, that could be an issue with us being able to finish the season out at a reasonable time. Are you guys open to making it 6 teams, top 6?
How do you look at the top 6?
One more suggestion for the 5 teams. Whichever team win the league points, whoever be the first on the league, then he goes straight to the final. Then the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th should play the quarter final and semi-final. Then whoever won the semi-final play with the first team who got the most points on the league.
Would the first place team be okay sitting out for 2 weeks? That's another thing too you have to ask yourself. Would the first place team be okay not playing for 2 weeks?
I had 6 teams on no.
The only other way 5 teams works is if it's fourth place 5, and then the winner of that game plays number 1. And then 2 and 3 still play each other.
Yeah.
It's like the first round would be 2 versus 3, 4 versus 5, or I guess really just 4 versus 5. Then the winner plays number 1, then 2 versus 3 play, and then that's like the semifinal right there. It's really the only other way to do 5 teams. I'm not saying you should do 5, but it's the only other way.
Yeah. So, yeah, you guys might want to think about that a little bit more. I mean, it's a good idea.
Are we thinking more of time and the field and the cost, or are we thinking about?
Time is going to be your biggest component on this.
Because with 6 teams, you're basically adding on.
He's talking about the 5 team.
Yeah. 5 team. Well, with the 6 team we just talked about, you're basically adding on 4 games or 3 weeks. You're basically adding 3 weeks to the schedule.
If we do it, if it's top 6 that go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quarterfinal, semifinal, final.
Yeah, quarterfinal, semi. Yeah, it's 3 weeks. Yeah. That's 3 weeks. So you have to ask yourself.
11 weeks.
You have an 11-week season. So if we start September the 8th, September, October, so you're going about, am I rough off the top, is it mid-November roughly? And that's assuming you have no hiccups, no reschedules. Dane is looking at it real quick.
You guys don't have any blackout dates on open, do you?
I think we might have 1 day. I
Well,
think
maybe
I have to look at the
maybe-
permit. And also too, we have to look at the permits and make sure the school is not using the field that
So
weekend too.
11 weeks takes you to November 17th.
That takes you to November 17th, so right before Thanksgiving.
Well, the 24th would be Thanksgiving.
There's someone. Okay.
And
I don't see any, I don't see anything on those Sundays that would be detrimental.
And
How late
honestly,
do you have the fields again?
We have it until
In
the,
November?
until the end of November.
Okay.
And I know no one wants to play in December.
nobody wants to play in December. But with the 5 teams going forward in first place, I guess having 2 bye weeks, I personally I think would be fine with that. Whoever the first place is, I mean, you could always reach out to other coaches, even people that are teams that aren't in the playoffs, and you could set up a scrimmage or something to keep you guys warm, or set up a scrimmage with different teams and practices with other teams.
You'll lose them. You'll lose them.
Yeah.
Too long to wait. You can't do that at the end of the season. They're over 30 or whatever. You're gonna lose the guys. They'll be doing something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think.
It's either 6 or 4. It's either 6 or 4. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, I believe we should play top 4.
Now I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, I think we're complicated. Let's stick with 4.
Okay.
It makes more sense because you have to see that the top 4 are probably gonna all have winning records. So, and those are usually gonna be the better teams. So, I think it's better to just go with the 4 if we're gonna do anything.
So
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Food-
It makes it easier.
So food for thought here, and I've seen other leagues do this. So they kind of may have like it may be a rule that's there, but they'll say if it's 8 teams and less, then it's like top 4. If you have 10 teams or more, then it's top 6 because it kind of makes sense because you have more teams. So you're kind of in that in between ranges. You have 9 teams. If a 10th team jumps in, then late, which could happen because registration is open for another 5 days, you could potentially have that, and then, so it's up to you guys. So if you guys want to stick with the top 4, which has worked, y'all could do that.
Let's stick with top 4 then. Let's do top 4.
Yeah,
If another team joins, then we can discuss that again. But since right now we have a solid 9, but I think just to make it easier for everyone, top 4 would be fine.
Okay. Have any of you guys taken a look at the addendum here? So rules. So for I'm gonna try and share screen. I'm gonna share screen this real quick, so y'all can see this. All right. So for the league rules here, so the appendix here. So this is what's currently on the books regarding the appendix, and in here is where we kind of add in these extra stuff here, format and whatnot. Okay. So whatever you guys decide, we will put that in here. Oh, sorry, that's over 30 division. This is the open division. So you see here, playoff format, top 4 based on record advance of the playoffs. So basically, top 4 teams, and then the first 8 games will determine the seeding. Remaining games will be allocated for semifinals and finals. The locked rosters are locked going into the 8th and or final game. We put in 8th or final game depending on how many games you decide to play. Seems like you guys are gonna play an 8-game regular season, so that'll stay. Roster size, again, under the league rules, no more than 18 checked in per game. Game balls, each game. So I'm going to harp on you guys about this one. You guys need to start bringing game balls and be open about bringing game balls to each game. So each team has to provide a game ball and be open to shagging balls to also as well. So if you guys have not seen this, this is the current men's open division appendix that's there. So if there's anything that you guys want to change, or if you're okay with how it was in the spring season, we'll just adopt it as such, and we will keep it like that going into the fall season, if you guys are okay with that. You guys have any objections or anything you guys want to change? Have you guys taken a look at it? We're
Just skimming over it, it looks fine. No objections on my end.
okay. All right. Okay.
Are we allowed to sub on any stoppage of play?
How do the refs typically do it? We would so typically like
What's the question?
The sub and any stoppage. Figure out the stuff.
yeah. So the refs typically I hate to say up to their discretion, but usually it's like any stoppage they do allow for subs, throw-ins, and all that other stuff. Yeah, they typically do that. So yeah.
I had a referee stop us from making a sub on a free kick, and I know in the pros at least it's every stoppage. It doesn't matter if it's a free kick, if it's corner kick, goal kick. But in the rules, from what I read from the summer league, that there were stipulations that you couldn't sub on free kicks and I think corners.
I think in our main rules it says that if you guys want to change, again, this is why we're having this discussion. So if you guys want to change that, then now is your time to do it. To where maybe if you want to write it into the addendum that substitutions on any stoppage of play. So
I'd be very open into that.
So this is the time to memorialize it, or you hold your peace and the refs do what they've been doing. Okay, Dane, let's write that down. I think
Most referees allow it, but there are some referees that if they look at the rules, they will go by the rules, which let's be honest, not every referee looks at the actual rules. They look at the FIFA laws instead of the rules.
that's most of them are gonna go by that if they don't know what the actual league rules are. Because especially if you have newer refs coming in, they'll default to that. But if you want it to be on any stoppage of play, then let's go ahead and let's memorialize that now, so there's no issue with it, because it will pass that to the assigner and he knows that. Okay, all right. So we have that. We have top four. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Top four. Okay.
Yes. Top four.
Top four. Okay. If for some reason you guys get a 10th team, do you still want to keep it at that format?
I think 6 would be better at 10.
Okay.
I second with that. If we get a 10, then 6, yeah.
Now you know that's going to affect pricing, so I'm just letting you know that.
I mean, I think 5 would be good for 10, but that's just me.
Wow.
Cost-wise, doesn't make a difference.
Still 3 extra games.
Yeah.
Well,
Or 3 extra weeks, you could say.
wait, no, does it change?
Games, yeah.
It's number of games.
If you did the bye week for the 1 seed, that would be a game that they would not technically
You
play.
still have to have 3 weeks, so you still have to pay. The cost-wise doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, but it's the games, right?
It's number of games.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not.
It's number of total games.
Yeah.
So you have 8 games, and then so let's say if you play 3 rounds in the postseason, so semifinal. So let's say you have 2 semifinal games. So 1 semifinal game, a second semifinal game, and then the final. That's 3 games.
Mhm.
So that's how it's calculated. It's not on rounds. It's like per game that's played. So if you do it, so if you do a top 4.
The 9 teams, we would have 10 weeks. If we would have 10 teams, it would be 11 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, but it's even, if you end up with 10 teams, and you want to play each team once, you're at 9 season games by itself.
That's true.
Well, that's if they want to do that.
Yeah.
That's if they want to do that. So if we just keep it as 8 games, because when I set the schedule, when I do the schedule, I do it. It's at the generator does it at random. So Okay, so Dane is crunching that, and we'll spit out the numbers there, and we'll go from there. But again, when I'm doing the purpose reason why we had this meeting early is so that by the time registration rolls along, let's say a 10th team comes in and they confirm, I'll contact everyone and say, hey, this is what it's going to be. So if you guys, the cost will be. So if you guys are good with that, that's fine. And also to new teams that are coming in. Now, some of the new open teams were already with us during the summer. They already paid their performance bonds, so we're rolling it over. But those who are new and have not played with us, you have to pay that one-time $300 performance bond, and we'll have it for the duration while you're here. Any luck there, Dane, with the 9 and 10?
So I don't, for the 10, so I'm good with the 9, the 10, how many playoff games were there?
So it'll be, so the top 2 teams will be on a bye. So 1 and 2 will be on a bye. And then the remaining 4 teams will go straight to a quarterfinal.
It'd be 5 total playoff games. It'd be 5 total, counting the final.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, this is how NVSL manager meetings are. I mean, because again, if you guys want what you want, this is how we do it. We want you guys to have what you want.
So for the 9 teams, it's 21-25. For 10 teams, it's 21-70.
21-70. If we do 10 teams
5 playoff games.
and 5, okay, so quarterfinal, semifinal, final. Okay. Playoff games.
It's not terrible.
It's 21-70. If it's 9 games with the top 4 going, so this is top 6 going. Top 4 going for 9. You said it's 21 what?
For the 9 teams
9 teams with the semifinal, final.
is 21-25.
21-25. Okay, so that's it. You guys know what the numbers are. Okay.
It's only $25 difference?
It's 45.
If we get a 10th team.
Split by 10, those extra teams.
Yeah, I wrote it wrong.
Yeah, if we end up getting a 10th team, and you do quarterfinal, semifinal, final, top 2 teams on a bye, then it's 21-70.
70, okay, that's right.
If it's 9 teams with the top 4, and it's just semifinal, final, that is 21-25. Okay? Does everyone have those costs there for the open? All right. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just memorialize that and take that to a vote. We'll do 2 votes for a 9 and 10, and then we'll take a vote for the rule regarding the substitutions on any break in play. All right. Dane, you want to call out the role for? I mean, the open team on its first page, I believe. If you can't read, I can.
What do you want to call it?
Yeah, I'll call you. Yeah.
Easier for you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and vote. Let's just combo this real quick because it seems like everyone agrees with the 9 and 10, and we'll just vote on it. So this is what it is. So if we end up with 9 teams, it's 21-25. You have semifinal, final, 8-game regular season. If it's 10 teams, it'll be top 6, 21-70, with the top 6 teams going into the playoffs. We're gonna vote for that. So if we happen to get a 10th team that comes in, that means you guys will have to be okay with paying the little extra amount. So I'm gonna start off. I have Barbaros.
Yeah.
Alejandro.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're okay with the 9 and 10 game format? Okay. Barbaros. In the affirmative. Syndicate. Adam. Syndicate.
I agree as well. I'm in.
Okay. Anfield. Andrew.
I'm in.
Okay. Again, everyone understands the question. You're voting for both 9 and 10 game at the same time. So if we end up with 9, we're going to go with that format. If we end up with 10, we're going to go with that format. Jeffrey with Mason Goats.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. Wash Boys, Eric Enriquez.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Confident answer.
It wouldn't really matter at this point, you know.
Coach Teddy with Jan Meta.
Yes. The regular season games are still 8, right?
Yes, it's 8 regular season games for both, but the difference is the number of teams going into playoffs based on the number of teams that we have participating. Eagle FC.
I agree with both.
You're okay with both. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So everyone agrees with the game format. So I will email everyone about that. The next one up is the addendum regarding the substitutions on all stops of play. Okay. All right. You guys heard the question. Same order. Barbaros FC.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
With subs. Yes. Okay. Adam Redmond Syndicate.
Same here.
Okay.
Yes.
Andrew Aguilar, Anfield FC.
Yeah.
No?
No, I'm in.
Yes. Okay. Jeffrey Mason Goats.
Yeah, man.
Yes. Eric Enriquez Wash Boys.
Sounds good.
Yes. Coach Teddy Jan Meta.
Yes.
Yes. Eagle FC.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Are there any other items the men's open division wants to bring up to the floor? Okay. All right. Thank you guys. If y'all want to hang out, feel free. There is going to be one more. There's going to be one more league-wide vote regarding a league rule. So if you want to participate in that, stick around. If you do not, then you can jet, and everyone else will make a decision for you. All right. Okay. Next up, over 30 division. Over 30 division. What have you? We'll start those with a virtual call. What have you guys discussed? What is it you guys want to bring up for vote?
You said we're gonna have 12 teams, right?
Well, there's a team still deciding. There's a team still deciding. So this is probable. Okay. We are gonna have double-digit teams though. That's for sure.
So we were discussing, because we thought you said 10 games, and then we would just do a semifinal and final.
So that means what we've been doing, which would be a top 4 essentially.
Right.
Okay.
Now, if you wanted to, when we could, left and listen to that discussion, if we wanted to do left games, then we could have more basketball playoffs, but I think we all agreed that we'd rather just have the games and then just top 4 of the playoffs.
Well, it's whatever you guys have all discussed. I don't have a representative for my team participating, but our guys are generally cool with whatever. But
Hey, question.
yes.
Are we playing on Veterans Day? That's a Thursday.
So all major holidays we typically that fall on a game day, we don't play.
Okay.
That's how we've always done it. If the holiday does not fall on a game day, we're playing. So for instance, if a holiday falls on a Sunday, the open guys aren't playing. But you got a game on Thursday, we're playing.
Wanted to make sure.
Gotcha. So I'll factor in all the holidays when I put it in.
That's not on Thursday, that's fine.
Okay.
Mother's Day and Father's Day is not a holiday.
Yeah, don't ask us about it.
Halloween's a Thursday.
Yeah. Okay, men's over 30. What items do you guys want to bring to the floor that you guys have discussed?
We just discussed the amount of games and then playoffs. That's all we really had an issue with.
Okay, number of games.
10.
You guys want to play a 10-game season? Like 10 all-inclusive games? What we've been doing? So essentially it's like, I know Andy has always brought it up where it's like 9 games and then after that, everyone is seeded out. So the top 4 play semifinal, final, and the remaining teams, just play out their final game against, 5 versus 6, 7 versus 8, that sort of thing.
Now, we didn't wanna do that because that's where you start losing teams, and that's going to the bonds and taking the money, cause that's when they don't show up. Cause the game doesn't mean anything. That's
Okay.
why we stuck to top four for playoffs, because it still means something and they'll stick around.
But if it's, 14 teams, gonna be top 4.
That's assuming we get to that.
When is the first game, on September 12th?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just doing the math here. to see
Yeah.
How many games we have.
So we need to get moving along here because it is almost 9:30, just not to rush anybody.
We only have 11 weeks max. Because because the 12th week would be Thanksgiving.
And we're not playing on Thanksgiving.
So we only have technically 11 weeks, so we can't play a 10 game and then 2 weeks. So we have to play a maximum 11 weeks with that, unless we start the season on the 5th of September.
We're not starting on the 5th.
Okay.
I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, I mean, so we only have 11 weeks to work with it. So we can't fit 12 into 11.
Hold on 1 second. Adam, go ahead, please.
Okay, then do 9 games and then top 4.
So 9-game regular season.
Yep. That works. We've always done that. I think that's what we've
We've always been doing that.
Yeah, I think that's what we've always done.
Okay?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So 9-game. So would it be just a straight 9-game and there's nothing else after that? Nielsen, please go ahead.
I think we agree to that, but I think the caveat to this, we're discussing, not for this coming, like the end of the year, but next year when we go, I think we should consider the spring, summer, and summer, fall, so we'll have more time. Instead of having 3 separate sessions, we have 2 sessions with a break in the middle, and that will allow you guys to plan for the fields, number 1. Number 2, give us more time to play as many games as possible, because to what Adam was saying, we discussed in our breakout session, it's completely useless playing the 5th place, 6th game place, 7th place game. Completely useless. Yeah. We'd rather have that, competitive structure than just having to do that, because it's hard to get guys to come out normally, and then it's even more difficult. So if you guys will consider thinking about next year, the session should be spring to the summer, and then we'll have full slate, and there's a break, and then we start earlier again, like not after Labor Day, before Labor Day, we play a full 10, 11 games, and then that way people have a break in between, and we wouldn't struggle in the middle of summer looking for players and having all this tension that we're stressing about.
That's a good idea. That idea sounds like a hybrid of kind of what the Open did. They moved away. I guess I say they kind of wised up and moved away from consolation games because it's like there's no point for it. So I do see what you're saying regarding that. I think that's a pretty unique idea to kind of have it to where is that doable, Dane?
It's doable, but we pay the county user fee for the summer.
It's really expensive.
You lose money.
You have to pay both user fees.
Yeah, so you have to pay the user fee twice, because when you move from one season into the next, because the county breaks it up into 4 seasons throughout the year, and the summer is the shortest and the most expensive. So
it's the same price, but it's more expensive if you divide it by.
If you divide it out, because it's only 6, it's like 6. Is it 6 weeks? I think it's 6 weeks. Yeah, summers I believe the permit is 6 weeks, so you have to pay that user fee twice.
Can we go beyond Thanksgiving technically, like beyond that? Like if we took that as a week off and went beyond into like early December, would that work? Would that still classify as fall? Is my question.
Well, keep in mind weather and then St. James.
That's true. Yeah. Good
Yeah,
point.
technically, I mean, so the permits end at the end of November, but usually the county has been pretty lenient if we have a couple makeup games, like spilling into the winter season, because usually the fields are open, a lot of teams aren't putting teams out there, so usually we can. I mean, if we have to do some makeups, we can work with the county and do that, but it's not, I mean, we don't wanna use that as a standard operating practice. We don't, cause if we abuse it every season, then it, you know, we hear about it.
Yeah, so, no, guys, these are great ideas. This is how we, try and evolve and get better. Adam.
Right. Yeah, I think it was
Patrick,
just,
sorry,
like,
Patrick.
Food for thought. It was just food for thought. I don't think we need to put it to a vote. But like, we also talked a little bit about, I'd like to put to a vote, slide tackling into over 30s. Just because I saw a couple of injuries and stuff like that. I just want to see where everyone's at. I'm not really advocating that we get rid of it, but I just like to see where everyone's at in terms of like keeping slide tackling into over 30s. I feel like it's basically open, and we're like full contact. So I don't know. Should we have like that distinction, like, oh, in over 30s is less physical than the open, right?
Okay, I mean, we can definitely put that out there. Okay, we'll discuss that a little bit more. I just want to focus on getting the games, not because that's so we kind of get a cost. Jason?
I don't know, do I need to bring it up about the games, the semifinals being back-to-back? Do I not need to bring that up? Is that not
So
gonna
that's
happen? Because I don't want them back-to-back anymore, like at Wakefield.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, so Jason talked about how we have back-to-back semifinals at Wakefield and how it's an issue. So during the summer, during the summer was an issue because there was essentially games that had to be determined by penalties from like all the games, basically. So we're going to move into a different format next summer anyway. But what you're saying is not going to affect the fall because we can move one semifinal to another location.
Okay, perfect.
And if you guys are talking about doing a format to where it's just a 9-game regular season and no consolation, and that's it, then that's going to free up the fields anyway.
Yeah.
So all we're going to have is just semifinal, final,
Okay.
and we can have that at 2 fields.
And then, if that's the case, then I'd like to propose that we have extra time instead of penalties. Like after that, we could go 10-minute extra time, and then penalties. Because
Okay, so if you want to do that, how much we need to have a full, so.
Yeah, that would be our discretion, not your guys. And
Sorry?
I don't think the over 30 guys want that extra 15 minutes, they'd rather just go straight to PKs.
Okay, well.
Open might want the 15, but I'm sure the over 30s and 40s is like, screw it, let's go to TK.
I'd at least like 5 minutes on each half, just a chance, because teams are worn out by that point. You might be able to get a winner without doing penalties.
So,
Wait, are you wanting to decide that now for the fall, or you wanna wait till?
If we're putting slide tackling on the table, I'd rather put this one on the table. This is more pressing to me personally than slide tackling.
So again, if you, this is just what I'm thinking on top of my head. So it's 90 minutes plus an extra 20. So that's gonna put you at, so we would need like what, like a 2 hours, is it 2 hours, full 2 hour slot, I think?
Or at least give a stoppage time in those games. Like, at least give a stoppage. At least give a stoppage time. In a knockout game, give a stoppage time. Because they've been doing it right on the 45 every single game. Like, and if we do a stoppage time, then that will prevent time wasting in a knockout game.
So you wanna do just 2 5-minute?
Yeah, 2 5s is fine.
Or 110, whatever the hell?
Yeah, whatever, yeah. Just something, like, some way to finish off the game without going to penalties. Like, as the first option.
Okay, so basically you guys proposing a 10-minute extra time for
That's fine.
playoffs.
10 minutes is fine.
And
10 minutes
two,
is fine.
with 2 5-minute, 2 5
Two 5 minutes is fine, yeah. Or 1 10 minute, I'm fine with either one.
Okay, so,
Just for playoff games though.
Yeah, just for playoff game only, yeah, of course.
can we squeeze that into a slot, or will we be pushing it?
If you play the overtime and then go to PKs, it's gonna be right at because the lights go off at 11.
Right.
No, but we would play a game earlier than at 9 o'clock. We would play the game at probably 8 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock. That way the lights would go at 11.
So one thing you need to remember is that Wakefield is the only field we have that starts at 7:30. The other fields we have start at 9.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Wakefield's the only one that starts at 7:30, and
Well,
it's
then,
a
I'm
hard.
fine with just stoppage time. If we get stoppage time included in these games, then penalty kicks, I'm fine.
So that could be done for the final, not for the semifinals, for example. If the final is played at Wakefield at 7:30, that's not.
Or maybe if you wanted,
Yeah.
maybe if you want to do it for maybe the championship, because
Yeah,
that would be
Championship's fine.
that would be uninterrupted versus
Right.
Yeah.
with the semifinals, you're playing it. The only field we have
Right,
it starts at 7:30. If you have it like Robinson and all the other fields start at 9 o'clock.
No, you're right. That's the final. Then just do it for
Then-
the final.
Okay.
Final's fine.
All right. Championship.
It's a good compromise.
Championship would be 10 extra time,
Mm-hmm.
2 5-minute halves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then penalty kicks.
Then PKs. Now keep in mind too, the refs too also as well, because we do instruct them, is that like some of the field locations, they will give a little bit of extra time at the end of each half.
Mhm.
Wakefield is the only field they don't do that at because
Yeah.
of the time crunch that we're in.
Okay.
Two games.
It's-
I'm saying, like, I've played several games at Robinson High School where the other team literally just kicked the ball out to the woods
Yeah,
for like
I
5
mean,
minutes and
every-
just stopped the game. Yeah.
Every team does that, even in the open.
Oh, I
They
know.
do that
Yeah.
too. So
I know.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay. Anything else? So what I have so far for the men's over 30, number of games, 9 games, and no consolation. It's just a 9-game season, correct?
And top four for playoffs.
Yep.
And then top 4 for playoffs.
I'm good with that.
Out of how many teams do we have?
14 teams?
If we get okay, here's the thing. Right now we have 13 right now.
You
They
don't have
don't have a
enough
choice.
weeks, Eddie.
You don't
We
want-
can't,
you
we
don't
can't
want
fit
time.
a square peg in a round hole here.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you guys what's there. That's all.
We don't have extra weeks, so
Yeah.
there's no choice.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
If somebody wants to graduate to over 40, we'll take it.
Okay. All right.
And then we need to vote on flag tackling and then the 5-minute or 10-minute extra for the finals.
For championship. Okay.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay. All right. First item, we'll go ahead and we'll vote on the number of games. So again, you guys heard here, it's a 9-game regular season, no consolation games at all, and it is top 4 that go to playoffs for semifinal, final. Did everyone hear it?
Mm-hmm.
So the top 4 teams are playing extra games?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
And you've got the new definition of tie in the standings, right? So
We
they're-
will get to that.
Okay.
And
We'll
there's
get
no
to that.
3rd place match?
Okay.
No.
Alright.
No. Even yeah. We're gonna be changing that format because okay. All right. So it's gonna be competitive this year in the 30s. Hopefully, if we keep this up, we can get to 2 conferences or something. All right. So we're gonna go and vote right now. I'm gonna call out. So we have so the question is 9-game regular season, no consolation, top 4 make the playoffs. So for Supernova, Tovar, what's your on that one?
That's good for me.
All right. Okay. Elguna, Fatty. Elguna.
He left.
Okay. All right. Crystal City.
Yeah, that's good for us.
Blue Mark.
Good for us.
Barra Brava. Anybody from Barra Brava?
Yeah, good for us.
Okay. That's a yes for Barra Brava. Adam, United.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
I know Real Ballers is deciding, but Real Ballers.
If that works for us.
Rampage,
Yes.
Red Devils,
Uh-huh.
Tiki.
Yep.
If I will use my vote if we have to break a tie. Alright? I just wanna stay out of it as much as I can. Fighting Balls, Fabio.
Yes.
Cochabamba,
Yes, it's fine.
okay, well, that's unanimous. Alright? Okay, second question. I guess the question Pat brought up is, do we still want to allow for slide tackling in the 30s?
Yep.
So we'll go around again. Supernova, you want to continue slide tackling?
I'm okay with keeping it.
Okay, that is a yes. Laguna is not here. Crystal City,
Yes, that's fine.
Blue Mark,
No.
no. Okay, Blue Mark's no. Barra Brava,
Yes, that's fine.
United, Adam.
Can we be neutral? I really don't care either way. Or no, you want a definitive answer?
If you don't want to vote, I'll put a dash next to your team and move on.
I don't care either way.
I'm putting a dash there then. We'll say that's a no vote. Okay. Real Ballers,
Same dash.
no vote. Rampage,
Yeah, keep slide tackling.
yes. Red Devils,
Keep it.
yes. Tiki,
Keep it.
I'm not voting. Unless I need to. Fighting Bods, Fabio,
Keep it.
Cochabamba,
Yes, keep
Can you hear me?
yep,
Oh, correct. Yep.
okay. Alright,
Side tackles are in.
slide tackles, stay.
You know, I wanna make a comment about that. I don't think the issue is slide tackling. I think the issue is, not always, but sometimes with the referees. I was on Supernova for a couple seasons, and I'm on this new team. And on the old team and this team, a lot of times during halftime or after games, a lot of people are complaining, why is the ref not calling the foul? You know, you're talking about, you started the meeting saying, guys, shake everybody's hands, be respectful with the referees, we're trying to have this be a friendly league. Well, it's not really friendly when the ref isn't making the calls, because they think this is like, I don't know. So, you know, maybe talk with the refs, let them know.
So this is, and thank you for bringing it up.
And
So-
then I have to tell my team and the people I play with, guys, it's not the ref's fault, it's your fault, you have to sell the call.
Okay,
Like,
alright.
why do we have to sell the call?
Nielsen,
I second that because we talked about that in our breakout session. We discussed that very point because when Patrick brought up the idea of eradicating slide tackling, it's not so much slide tackling, it's so much the ref controlling the tempo of the game and managing the excessive force that started. We had a situation with that. I brought that to you back in the spring when it escalated. Instead of the referee de-escalating the situation until it get to the point where he had felt like he had to give the guy a red card, even though the guy was already on the bench, because he had allowed it to get to that level.
okay.
So I second that. Yeah.
Let me tell you what we discussed recently in our meeting. I think it was on Monday, or some time ago. Is that like our signer genuinely does his best to get what he can get out here, and we always say that. And there have been times where we've had to go to him and say, you know, this happened. Can we, you know? And he will talk to them, but we're not gonna know until you guys tell us. You have to tell us. Don't wait till like 4, 5, 6 weeks into the season and then y'all complaining about it, right? It makes no sense. Now I'm not talking about coming to us and saying, oh, he made a bad call, caused us to lose the game. If you guys watch the Euros, come on, that or Copa America, that happens, right? What I'm saying is that if it's regarding, you know, we had one recently a couple weeks ago where we even went to the ref and said, hey, you know, there was this instance where, you know, there should have been a stoppage of play for a player that was hurt and it didn't. Oh yeah, okay, I'll go talk to him. But we had another instance where the ref wasn't following one of the couple of league rules, he probably wasn't aware about it. So we told him. So, you know, again, it's like, we need feedback from you guys, you know, to make that. Reasonable stuff like referee errors and mistakes, that's everywhere. We're just, if we're talking about just, you know, professionalism, or maybe, you know, they let things go too far by the wayside for something that needs attention, okay, yeah, we'll tell them, but we gotta hear from you guys, okay?
Yeah, honestly, second what you're saying, and I would say it probably makes the most sense to bring it up pre-game during your coin toss with the referee and talk to him about that. Like, if you've seen that happen before, you know, just mention that. Like, we've had some issues where these things have gotten out of hand. Sometimes if you just address it up front with the referee, you can almost de-escalate
Right.
by just bringing it up. So
And if you're cool and you're respectful about it, 9 times out of 10,
yeah.
they'll do it. Like Andy, I'm gonna use you for a moment if he's still here. Sometimes Andy, when I go to the circle with him, he's like, just
Yeah.
call, nice tight game. He always says that, right? So again, like, just say what you want. Like, they're not gonna bite your head off, right? So, okay.
I recommend every time that you get to the pregame, you know, you should say to the referee, please call it tight. We want you to err on the side of safety. And if both captains can agree to that right there, the referee will say, okay. Well, there's some
Are the
referees
refs really
think,
gonna
oh,
listen?
hey, they want to play. I want to play. All
Are the
this.
refs really gonna
Let's
listen
go.
to that?
Please
You
just
know,
speak it
referees,
up there.
they wanna
That's
do
your
it.
chance to tell the referee. That's how you want it.
Hold on. So, okay, again to your point, like, you know, this is not to cast anything what you're saying, but you can't have that assumption right off the bat saying, well, it's going to be useless saying this.
I'm saying it'd be better if it came from the league rather than pre-game, 2 captains.
Again, we can.
We do give them
We
feedback.
do give them feedback. We do.
Throughout the season.
We do.
You know, that's why we're at games, even though we're not playing, just to evaluate how the games are going.
And sometimes.
And to be fair, that's kind of what I like about the over 30s league too, that it's like kind of physical and like, you know, I like that component of it. I just think sometimes the refs don't make the right calls, but that's why I also don't say anything, because, you know,
You want
it
it to
is
be
what it is.
physical, you don't want it to be reckless, right?
Yeah.
Right, we get it, and the thing is, and also too, sometimes our assigner, out of his own free time, he'll go monitor the games. He won't tell you that he's there, but sometimes he'll come there. Sometimes he'll sit in the crowd and watch. You won't even know he's there. So again, you know, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, like, we can't have the assumption that, oh, the refs don't care. Like Dane said, we get feedback all the time. We don't put it out there, but we do. So, you know, but overall, the quality of the refereeing since I've been here has improved leaps and bounds. And I think, you know, that's undeniable. But
And we're totally open to you guys sending us an email about how the
Yeah.
tempo of the game went, but it's gotta be the next day, right? You play next day, bang out a respectful email with some facts that we can, you know, provide the feedback to the refs.
right.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's all we want, you know, like he said, when he came to me, he said just open, respectful communication, you know. Okay, last item for the 30s championship, having 10 extra minutes with being 2 5-minute halves before going to PKs. Okay, let's go ahead and vote on that real quick. Togar. Supernova. Supernova.
Can you repeat that question? That was
The final question to vote for regarding the 30s is in a championship match having 10 extra minutes divided into 2 5-minute halves before going to PKs. Okay, all right. Alguna is not here. Crystal City.
Yes.
Lamarck.
Yes.
Bear Brava.
Yes.
United.
Yeah.
Real Ballers.
Yes.
Rampage.
Yes.
Red Devils.
Yes.
Tiki.
Yes.
Fighting Bods. Fabio.
Yes.
Cochabamba.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right.
22:30.
All right. So the cost for 9 games is $22.30 for the men's.
9 games and 3 playoffs.
And 3
Two semis and a final.
Yep. It's $22.30 for the men's over 30 division, okay? And mind you, I will post the costs online for the upcoming season, and you guys can pay online for that, okay? All right,
Skip the 40s, go to your final vote.
40s are, well, okay, all right, moving on.
They've all left anyway.
They all left, okay, moving on.
Why don't we get the 40s?
Oh, because you're the only one representing.
I guess I had one question. No, we don't need to vote if we don't, because there was no questions. We all agreed on playoffs for 8 teams, so I think which is what it is there. The question I have is guest players. Is there a league rule, or does it go by division?
So for Masters level, it's, we practically keep it open because of the nature of the divisions where, you know, we're older, we need bodies. That's what it is.
Yeah, but you should have your core 18 players,
Right.
and the other slots could be your guests. Like, you don't, they wouldn't stay there necessarily. If you bring a person into the game, put them in a game slot, and you can take them out. But your core 18, they should not be removing them or changing them.
I guess the question is, in a single league, how many guest players can you have? Because I wasn't aware, I didn't bring any last year, and the other teams were bringing 5. So I just want to know why.
So
per game.
right, per game, yeah, per game. So the over 40 doesn't have a hard set rule on the number of guest players you can have
open
per game.
You can have 18 players at the game.
Okay, just to know what is it.
Right.
Okay.
So
I wouldn't want to be on a team with 18 players, but that's okay.
I don't want to do that, but I just want to know if one day we are short.
just
Okay.
so it's all in the addendum. That's all.
I haven't seen the guests. Is it the writings? Is that what?
So in the appendix,
Yeah, I
we
read
pretty
it.
much have right. No, because there's no because it's practically open more or less. That's the
Okay.
reason why. Did someone have a question?
40s is only that has
Can it be general?
Yes, general question.
I forgot to ask earlier, I guess it applies for all the age
Hold,
group.
hold. He has questions.
So
Yes.
for all the general, for all the age group, the final, can we make it the time for that as possible earlier, not later on 8? Because it's a Sunday night, you want, some family members want to come. If it is late, because of that excuse, because they have work the next day, they don't want to come. Can you make it, I don't know, 6, the latest 7 start time, kickoff time?
We as I said, so like I remember we talked about that.
Yeah.
If you tell us early ahead of time, depending on what's going on with the fields and whatnot, then we can accomplish. If you come and tell us like week leading up to or a day before, we said it, we told the referees this is the time, it's hard to move it. But yes, please remember that and email me, so I have it, okay? But with
You want to know before the schedule, or you want to know? Do you want to know like if you make it to post?
we want to when we get closer to time, let me know.
Okay.
Getting to playoffs, and we'll do that because we always have teams saying, "I want to play at the same, I want to play at the time." Yeah, we can't satisfy everybody. So okay. All right. Real quick, I'm gonna screen share this. This is gonna be a league-wide vote regarding. There's a rule here. If you guys can see this, there's a rule here. All right, let's see if it's doing it here. Okay, hold up. Okay, can you guys see this? Virtually, can you guys see this as well? Why is this doing this?
The operator.
Okay, hold up, that's the operator, that's me. No. Almost there. Okay, do you guys see this on the live on the virtual call as well? So this is it. So basically, like this came up, and we just wanted to clarify this section by adding an example. So I'm going to use an example here. So the 2018 World Cup. I don't know if you guys remember when Senegal and Japan were literally tied on everything, and they had to go to fair. You remember they had to go to FIFA fair play rules to break the tie. So the scenario that was literally both teams had 4 points. The goal differential was 0. goals for and goals for against was the same at 4, and when both teams played each other, it was a 2-2 game. So that is a tie after the group games were played, that is a tie. So what that means is when you get like in the final standings, that is a tie because there's nothing is separating the teams statistically speaking. Okay, so this is what our rules say. So it's like obvious. So of course, the next thing you go to is what's the head-to-head between the two teams. Well, if the head-to-head between the two teams is the same, then you go to the number of wins and different. So there's a whole host of scenarios that you go. But long story short, that's tie. So then, if you guys can see this here on the third item, where it says notwithstanding above, what basically what this part is saying is that if there is a tie, then they may devise a round robin or whatever between the two or more teams to decide, right? I put in here in a bullet point, perhaps that we can include that we can go to number of yellow and red cards to kind of break that, right? Somebody raised their hand. I can't see it.
It was me, but I thought you were just gonna leave it at tie, and I just thought we can just do it by the disciplinary record. Well, you got it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So now, when you go to head, now let's say if team A played team B in the regular season, that team beat that team 2-1. Well, that settles that. Coach Shetty, do you have a?
The only suggestion I have is, they could customize it. If these teams play the last game of the season, and if they end up with everything across the line with the same statistically, then you can go to the PK.
Yeah. Well, if they're playing the last game of the season, yeah, that makes sense.
If they end up.
And each other.
Yeah.
If
they have to know at that time that it was a virtual tie too.
Yeah. If fate has it like that, right?
If not, there'll be a card.
Yeah. So we track all the cards. We track all the cards.
Ranking of the team in the league.
So again, they're tied.
Yeah.
Everything is tied. So you can literally have two teams with the exact. So let's say they played each other, they tied. They have the same.
Well, a lot of times the league, is based on the name of the team. They say if your team is named with A and your team with Z, usually the team.
No.
That's how usually.
I've seen that.
Yeah. So
That's in the real league.
Yeah. I hear. I hear.
Arsenal or let's say United. Arsenal wins with
I don't know. You're not alone.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
No. So the example he's giving is, it's legitimate. It exists, right? They'll go by the alphabetical order. Okay, I don't think it's gonna work for us. So.
I'm with T, so I'm not.
So we'll be having.
I would just say I would lean more towards a playoff than cards, because you may have some reps that are kind of more card heavy, some reps that are kind of less likely to get more cards, and if certain teams have.
I don't even know if the cards are
reference.
being accurately tracked, to be quite frank, because.
No, they are.
They are?
Oh yeah.
All right.
If we need something, I go straight to the assigner because they put it into their system
Okay,
too.
all right, that's fair.
Yeah.
You answered that.
No, trust me, we can pull it if we need it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. So
It's not being tracked on the website though, as well, like only in the
Yeah,
game.
because that's user error on the thing, but when they go to their, so if there's a question we can do.
Okay.
So, yeah, this will be the last item we vote. So this is gonna be a league-wide thing, and so I will, update it in the rules, just to give that example so that it's there. So those virtually will start, I'm assuming everyone would probably be okay with that, so that clarifies it. Coach?
Let me give you one more
Yes, sir.
sorry,
Yeah.
suggestion is, right before the playoff,
Uh-huh.
if both teams do not like the cards, you can bring in onto the field a PK, whoever wants to play that playoff.
That's true.
Either a game or PKs, I'd be with over as a cards, I would say.
Yeah.
That's more.
I remember one year in AFCON, they went down to flipping a coin.
I know.
One year, it was,
I like my chances on that.
which was,
The yellow card.
it's really, now the thing is, now the odds of this happening, is,
But still, it's good to have it on paper.
it's good to
This
have
is-
it, right. So again, right now they have it is, they just essentially have it, they, you know, they have it to where they leave it in the hands of the league to devise a round robin or some sort of thing.
I would go that route personally.
So, you know, again, we just wanted to bring this up, but this example I think needs to be in there.
Mhm.
So if you guys are okay with that, if we're all unanimous on that, I can put that in so that.
What's the third one saying? I'm sorry.
The-
Play the round robin?
Yeah, pick on what you're saying, either a round robin or like a PKs, I guess.
So it says, it doesn't say PK, it says a round robin of less than regulation length to break such a tie.
Okay, that's fine.
So basically, now that you
If
pay.
the game of rock,
What I'm saying is like, so if they're scheduled to play that playoff, so they're gonna play that, then right after that, they're gonna play
Yeah.
the playoff?
No,
Just
no.
a penalty kick, it would be a
PK probably is easier,
PK
to be
won't tax
specifically,
anybody.
specifying it like in written, in writing, then there is no confusion. Because round robin can be interpreted into different things, right?
So what they mean with the round robin is that, so in theory, you can have more than 2 teams tied. So you could have like 4 teams tied.
That makes sense.
And then for
It's extremely rare, right? But in theory, it could happen. So that's what they're saying. So that's what they say when 2 or more teams are tied.
and for
But in reality, it'll likely just be 2 teams, if it were to ever happen.
I have one more comment to make about this. Like, if it's already amongst seeding, amongst playoff teams, I don't think we need to do that. So if it's between a second and a third place team, I feel like that's a waste of time to get everybody together just for seeding purposes. You know what I mean? Like, say there's a tie for second place, and the 2 seed would play the 3rd seed, the 1 would play the 4. Like, it doesn't make any sense to have, or vice versa. If it affects the playoff fixture, I don't think it's that big a deal. But if it
Only affects the playoffs, to make it the
well, but if
playoffs.
it affects you to get into the
Yes.
playoffs, then I think
Yes.
it makes sense.
I think for me, I'm kind of more like someone has to finish somewhere at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's just the way.
But I think you could do the A through Z thing on a team that's already made the playoffs. Then you need to get everybody together on a Thursday night.
A through Z is like so crazy to me because it's like I'll just change my name to.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Totally, I'm
yellow
just-
cards is fine. I mean,
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a measure of the
Yeah.
game. You are more
Yeah.
sportsmanship.
And
Okay.
my question was, the red cards, does it count more? That was my next question. Do you have,
So FIFA, so the way FIFA does it, it's like yes, red cards are way more. So it'd be like red cards is like 2 point, like
Okay.
-2, and then like
Yeah.
a yellow is like a -1, and then they just
that,
weigh it like that. So.
yes.
Again, I mean, look, these rules have been around for a long time, so
Yeah.
it's like, you know, sometimes you find things in here.
Yeah.
So again,
It's gonna happen.
but at minimum, we need to put this in here, okay, so it's there. So if we're unanimous on that, those on the virtual call, I don't know if you guys can hear me, I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing this. And I'm gonna end the slideshow here, but those,
Only matters if you make a playoff or not.
But those-
Well, who
But
cares?
see, if you're already in the playoffs and you're tied with
Those-
someone who's already in the playoffs, you don't need to go through this.
those left on the virtual call, so you guys saw that scenario, so.
Into the playoffs, that makes sense.
Unanimously, can we agree, what I slide I showed, can we put that example there, what constitutes a tie, so that everyone can see it and understand it? Is everyone good with that? Is everyone in virtual call good with that?
What are they,
Yeah.
rock, paper,
We're good, we're good, we're good.
No, it's just for the example, show an example of the tie. Okay. And then lastly, so we can hurry up and get out of here. What do you guys want to do when there's a statistical tie in that stance? You just want to call the 2 teams out and just do PKs and settle it? Do y'all want to do that?
On a different day? I mean, it could be that they are not
No,
on
they're
the
saying
field.
the data of the playoff. It's
But
right
if it is a
before.
6, I mean, if it is a 4
Yellow
or 15
cards.
to make it on the players and they have no play on the
So
same
I'm talking
field.
about two teams.
If it's between like 2 teams and you need to seed them.
But they are not on the same field at that time when it finishes. You
No,
have
No,
to
no,
see
no,
them.
no, this is
Before the
another day,
playoffs.
it's another day.
Before the
This is for
playoff.
any game,
This
any
would
time.
be, this would be.
You're talking about any time, right?
Not
No,
any
no,
time.
no,
no.
Only
Tie at the end of the
playoffs, only
season.
playoffs.
This is only for players?
Tie at the end of the season.
No, listen,
Final
if 2 teams are tied at the end of the season, as in they're tied on points, tied on goal differential, and like, it's basically, they're
Yeah,
tied,
yeah.
right,
To make it a playoff.
to,
Yeah, no, I
you
understand.
know, to make a playoff or for seeding,
Yeah.
seeding purposes,
understand.
whatever. Right, what we're saying is, if it's between two teams, then you would maybe go to a PK or something.
But what I'm saying is that, are they playing on the same field that day? Or are they going
No,
to
it
meet
would
a
have-
different day?
It would have to be planned, it would have to be a different day.
It would have to be on a different day.
Oh, meeting again for a PK? Okay.
Well, there's
Alright, no, I understand, I
Has
understand.
this ever happened? That's like
I said,
a complete tie like this?
not since I've been here to have, as I said, it's.
It probably has, but nobody ever.
Probably
said
no one
anything about
remembers
In
it.
the World Cup, in the World Cup history, it only happened once. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Alright, let's vote, let's vote. I mean,
Now that we're
it's just-
talking about it, it's gonna happen this season.
Better, you know, that's, hold on, Nielsen has raised his hand, Nielsen.
I'm quite baffled why the discipline record is not the only decision here. Why are we dabbling with things that creates, permutations that creates more problems for people? If we don't know how the games are going to pan out, what we do know that at the end of that match, we can determine what the disciplinary record is for every single team. Yeah, I think it's a hassle to try and figure out which team will be present for a penalty or a shootout. That I think that's extra. Check the disciplinary records and we live with the results. Senegal had to deal with it. They move on. Japan went on to the next phase. If we think that this is part of the game.
Yeah, and that's why I brought that up. But the whole point of the meeting is just for people just to throw around those ideas. So, again,
For sure.
or if you guys want to table it for next season and decide what you want to do on that, and then if it happens, we make a decision.
I vote flip a coin.
Oh boy.
That's like 50-50.
Better than,
Yeah.
I think it's better than
Tay,
cards.
I think the best thing is no one wants to decide now. Like whoever that team is involved, ask them if they want to do PK or whatever.
So I think since we can't decide, that aspect, I think we will table it. Y'all think about it for next season. What we'll do is we'll leave it as it is. If the league has to devise some sort of thing and get the teams to agree, then that's what we'll do. But we will add that example in there. That I'm gonna add. Example, that we will add that.
But why don't you, there were a couple of ideas suggested, PKs, yellow cards, and a flip card. Why don't we do a vote and that's it? You don't want,
Yeah,
That's
that's
too many options.
Well, it seems
My
like
opinion.
there's a lot of indecisiveness right now. So again, I'm
No,
leaving
there's
it
been
to-
discussion, but what I mean is, there are options, a couple of options that you gave, a good one, yellow, there has been another one, which is PKs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is
let's
that
vote.
so
Let's vote.
Let's do it. Let's
So
do
now
it.
we
Let's
have-
do it. Let's do it.
Okay, all right. So
I'm just-
okay, so I'm gonna write it down. So we have, this is any order, PKs, card accumulations, and then and with the card accumulations, we will weigh it as maybe red cards would be 2 and 1, red is 2 points, red is 2, yellow is 1. Okay? And then the last one was
The coin.
a coin flip. Oh boy.
But that's
That
also a rule.
has happened.
Yeah, it's a rule.
AFCON did it one
It
year.
has been a rule.
They've done that before.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We'll run through with the
That's why I said
remaining
it.
teams that are here, and we'll go ahead and decide then. We will amend that third section. Okay, for PKs, Nielsen.
What is the question?
The question is, if all else fails and we have to break a tie, and we have 3 options: PKs, card accumulations, or a coin flip. Out of those 3, which one would you go with?
Just a disciplinary record.
Okay, card accumulations. Okay, all right, that is. Okay, card accumulations would be Crystal City. Well, let's do this here. PKs, cards, coin flip. Okay. Crystal City. Okay. Adam. Adam,
Yeah, I'm here.
which one? PK, cards, or coin flip?
Cards.
Okay. United. Okay. Gaston.
Yeah, we go with cards.
Okay. All right. Fabio.
Cards.
Cards. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Patrick.
Cards.
Cards. Tovar.
Card accumulation.
Okay. Who is next? Who is 804? Who's that number? 804, last two digits 10.
Sorry, this is Rob, from Blue Mark over 40. I'll go with cards as well.
Okay. Blue mark over 40. Okay, looks like cards is the only one out. Okay, Andy or Barra.
Cards.
Cards. Okay, Barra's cards. Okay. In room, in here. PK. That is Tehran.
Oh.
Rampage.
No vote, I don't care.
Okay.
What an asshole.
After all, we're kidding.
Okay, that is
Couldn't make it stand.
Ballers, okay.
I'll do cards.
That's Red Devils.
I guess cards one. You don't have to do this.
Or what a cards are tied to?
Oh, yeah, what are cards?
Yeah, you know that.
Coins.
You guys don't wanna take PKs.
Okay.
I mean.
Okay, well, cards, it looks like it's gonna go to card accumulation, okay? All right, guys.
All we'll do is
That concludes the meeting. Thank you all for attending. This was a good one. Thank you guys so much. We will post all the real quick. We will post all of the pricing online. I will do it either late tonight or first thing in the morning. Registration officially closes on August 25th. And we will be starting the week of September the 8th. All right? Okay. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Teddy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Good night, guys. Thank you.
You need any help?
We got it. We got it.